Come on now, let's go for some Friday night footy. Hey guys, how you going? So down BK Sport, we are live as the New Zealand Warriors are going to be playing host to the Parramatta Eels at a Go Media Stadium in Auckland in a game that is massive here for the New Zealand Warriors. They must win. They just simply have to win their last two games, and realistically, they should win their last two games, despite the fact they do play Manly next week. It is a tougher matchup, especially if Manly go and win this week and they're still in the hunt for the top 8. That will be a bigger game, but at the end of the day, the Eels have been playing some pretty good footy. You know, they have been on some pretty good form, and this is not going to be just an easy kind of walkover because the Warriors, look, they are in the top 4, and they are up there with the big dogs, but they have looked a little bit shaky over the last 2-3 months. Like, they haven't exactly been incredible, but their results are still where they are. They are still in 4th position, so you do still have to respect that, but at the end of the day, there is still a little bit of nerves and a little bit of worry around the Warriors right now in regards to them just kicking on and finding their feet going into the finals, because last week was a good win against the Titans, but the Titans are in 17th position, and although they're usually a bit of a bogey team for them, it was a 14-point win in the end, 32-18, but we did want to see a bit more. You know, we just want to see a bit more. Similar to the Bulldogs last night, where they did beat the Panthers, and you can't hate on the fact that they did beat the Panthers, but there's a lot of excuses there for the Panthers, 16, 17 players out, and we would have expected a little bit more from the Bulldogs, and the same thing goes there for the Warriors against the Titans last week. So, look, I'm looking forward to seeing how the Warriors can play. Obviously, with a win here, that will not guarantee them for the top 4. But if the Broncos and Sharks lost this week, it would actually guarantee them for the top 4. So they'll be very big fans of both the Cowboys and the Knights if the Warriors do go on to win today. Regardless, they'll be big fans of those two teams anyway. But let's get into this game. Obviously, later on tonight, we also have another massive game, which is the Melbourne Storm taking on the Sydney Roosters. That is a really big game for the Storm to obviously, keep their push for the minor premiership alive, whilst the Roosters need to win to stay in the top 8, because you'd expect the Dolphins to probably beat the Titans on Sunday, despite the fact the Titans have some good positive news that maybe can push them in the right direction. But the point of the matter is that you'd still expect the Dolphins to win that. So the Roosters must win that game. But that, obviously, we'll talk about that on the next stream. But obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And let's get into this game today. So the New Zealand Warriors, they come into this game from 4th position, whilst the Parramatta Eels come to the game from 14th position. And also, just quickly, the Warriors will be very grateful for the Bulldogs yesterday, because it does take the Panthers now out of the top 4 race. It is only down to the Warriors, Broncos, and Sharks for that 4th position. The Panthers are gonski from that. And the Parramatta Eels, they're in a little bit of purgatory right now. They're in 14th position, not playing for anything. They can't get the spoon. They can't make the 8. They're just playing for pride at the moment. This is at Go Media Stadium in Auckland. Now, the Warriors from last week, there was no ins, no outs, no shake it all abouts. They are the same name team as they face the Titans. Chance Newell-Klukstad is the fullback, with the wingers being Daniel Martinez-Zelezniak and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. The centres are Adam Pompey and Rocco Berry, with the 5'8", Shannon Harris-Tavita, and the halfback is the man who never misses, Tanner Boyd. Front row forwards of James Fisher-Harris, who is the captain. And Tanner Stowers-Smith comes in off the bench from the 16 into the starting props, with the number 9 being Wade Egan. Back row of Kurt Catewell and Marata Niokore, with the 13 being the big fella is Aaron Clark. What a man, he's been having a huge season. Now the interchange, Dimitri Vaimalgo drops out from the starting props to the bench with Tamari Martin, Eddie Yeremai Tuava and Leka Halasima, with the 18th man replacement being Samuel Healy, and the coach is Andrew Webster. Like I said with this Warriors team, we just don't know yet. We still don't know, and that is a bit of a problem, that we still don't have the ability to completely go all in and back them all in for the finals when they are a top 4 team. It's as simple as that. They are in the top 4. But there is just some concerns that just kind of lingering around this club these last couple of months. And when you look at their points differential of plus 26 comparatively to the teams around them of plus 138, plus 258, plus 172, plus 148, they do have the worst points differential in the top 8. They actually have the worst points differential in the top 9. And they're not too far away from Manly there. They're well away from Manly in regards to actual points for wins. But in regards to points differential, they're down there relatively close to Manly in 10th position, which has been a bit of a worry for the Warriors throughout the season. Now, they are coming off a good win against the Titans last week, but again, the Titans 17th position, just sacked their coach after this game. They won 32-18. Before that, they got over the line against the Dragons 14-10. It wasn't an impressive game from either of those teams. The Dragons were fighting for a top 8 spot at the time. Now they can't make it. The Warriors obviously were trying to fight for their top 4 still. And they did get back into the top 4 based off of that, but they nearly threw it away late in the game, and it was a bit of a struggle, but at the end of the day, they did win at 14-10. But before that, they lost to the Bulldogs 32-14. They lost to the Dolphins 20-18 when they probably should have won. They were the better team there. And then you go back to the the Titans game where they lost 24-16 at home, where they're playing tonight, but they actually lost their last 2 games in a row. Oh, no, sorry, that Dragons game was in Auckland, but they lost the Dolphins and the Titans in back-to-back games, 24-16 and 20-18. And then you go back to the game against the Knights, where they won 20-15, but it was a struggle to get over the line. They were down 15-14 when the siren was going. It was just a very lucky play that Leka Halasima was able to make a huge barnstorming run from the 40 to win on the siren. But it's still, contextually, you look at that game and you're like, well, score-wise, they won. Great, fantastic, 2 points. But if you watch the game, you're like, well, they didn't really do a great deal in that game, right? So that's what we're saying. They're there, but the questions are there. They're there, but the questions are there. And that's what we say about the Warriors. But they've got 2 games to really get a move on, because I believe that they will win this game here today against the Eels. And then I also do believe that they probably beat Manly, so that would guarantee them top 4. The top 4 is in their hands. They just need to win both their games, and they're in the top 4. Everyone's talking about Broncos. Everyone's talking about Broncos, everyone's talking about Sharks, but, realistically, if they just go and win their last 2 games, they do make it. So, look, it's all to play for the Warriors. Now, the ins here for the Eels, Sean Russell, and the out is Dylan Brown. Fullback, Isaiah Yongi, with the wingers being Zach Lomax and Josh Adokar. Centers of Will Penasini and Sean Russell comes in from the 18th man. Go to the 5'8", Josh Papali, with Mitchell Moses as the halfback. He is the captain. Front row forwards, Jermaine Hopgood and Junior Bolo, with the number 9, Riley Smith. Back row, Kelma Tuolangi and Jack Williams, with the 13 being Dylan Walker. And the interchange of Talon De Silva, Matt Dury, Charlie Geimer, and Jordan Samrani. 18th minute replacement, Tony Mattielli, and the coach is Jason Riles. This Eels team is in purgatory. Like I said, they cannot come last position. They are 6 points away from last, even with a loss here. And if the Titans and Knights both won their respective games, well, the Knights technically could still go above them if the Eels were to lose here. But the Titans can't. They're 6 points clear of them. So ultimately, the Eels aren't really playing for anything. They're just playing to finish off their season with hopefully a bang that can get a bit of momentum going into 2026, because right now it's just not much on offer. Their recent weeks, obviously they beat the Roosters 30-10 last week, and the Roosters were in some great form. They did lose Sam Walker, but at the end of the day, the Roosters shouldn't have been losing to this Eels team, especially by 20 points. And it was a convincing win there for Parramatta as well. But the week before, they lost to the Rabbitohs 2016. Now, the Rabbitohs are in some good form. They come off a 40-0 win last week. The week before then, obviously beat the Eels, and the week before that, did beat the Titans, so they're on a 3-game win streak themselves. So maybe you look into that. With that being said, though, Dragons, Eels, and Titans aren't exactly big boppers to kind of go up for there, but ultimately it makes it look a little bit better for the Eels, considering it's the in between the sandwich of those 2 games, and they did still get a loss as well. Actually, the closest loss of... actually, no, it wasn't, because the Titans got a 2-point loss, but overall, it was extremely close there. It was extremely close, but they shouldn't have been extremely close with the Rabbitohs, especially considering what they did to the Roosters the week after. And then you go back to the week beforehand, where they beat the Cowboys 19-18. Not the greatest of teams, the Cowboys, but at the end of the day, they got a win, and they made it close against the Melbourne Storm 16-10. And then you go back to the game against the Broncos, where they beat the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium 22-20, and that was when the Broncos had their fully fit team. So, look, this Eels team is really confusing right now. They're showing a lot of talent through Mitchell Moses, obviously. They're showing some promise, and they are showing a bit of positivity going into 2026, and they've just got to finish off these last 2 games with that same positivity. Going up against a Warriors team that is still very vulnerable, and then playing the Knights in round 27, they should be expecting to win that game. So you could see a world where the Eels go and win their final 2 games and really finish off 2025 with a better stat, a more admirable stat than what they were looking like at some points this season. They can finish with 26 points, which actually could, if results went their way, put them around the 10th position. But again, I'm going to tip the Warriors today. I think that the Warriors should win at home. If they don't, then they'll go straight back on fraud alert, to be fair. We took them off fraud alert controversially last week. We'd have to put them straight back on it this week if they were to lose this game, because they can't lose to the Eels. The Eels aren't playing for anything. They cannot come last. They cannot make the top 8. The Warriors, they are in the top 8, but you don't want to drop out of that top 4. You want that double chance. If you don't, you're more than likely going to have to play the Roosters or the Dolphins, and look, it's very winnable games, but you just would have so much concerns about the Warriors going to the finals, so they can't beat this Parramatta Eels team, and especially with Dylan Brown now out of the centres. That is a high talent that is going to Newcastle Knights next year. Will be in the halves, though. But the point is that there just isn't excuses here. There isn't excuses for the Warriors. If they think that they are a genuine team to go and push for the premiership this year, they must win this game, and they must win it well because they are at home. Not that their home record has been fantastic this year, but they are at home. And what is their actual home record this year? It is 7-4, so it's okay. It's okay. They're 7-4 at home and 7-4 away. So yeah, look, it's okay. They would have liked a little bit better, like you're seeing with the Raiders at 10-1, the Storm and the Bulldogs they're 9-2, even the Broncos are 8-3, the Sharks at home are 9-2. So in regards to home performances this year, they're equal with Manly again on the 7-4. They're probably around in regards to the 7th or so position, 7th to 8th position for home performances. So that doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't guarantee much at all. But with that being said, big crowd you'd assume here at Auckland. Warriors playing for something. I'm going to tip them, and I will tip them 1-12, but I do get a good vibe that 13 plus is on the cards here. I do. I think that Parramatta are still a very shaky team. Like I said, they lost to the Rabbitohs, so they did lose to the Rabbitohs. They did beat the Roosters. They did lose the Cowboys. They did beat the Cowboys, but they did also get absolutely pumped a few weeks before that against the Raiders and whatnot. They are a very up and down, fluctuating team. So there is a world where they win 13 plus with the Warriors, and like I said, they have to. They really should be starting to convince the fans, but also starting to convince themselves and other teams around them. Because right now, I guarantee the Raiders, Storm, Bulldogs, even Broncos, Sharks, Panthers, Roosters, Dolphins, this is the team they probably want to play as we currently speak, because they do look the most vulnerable out of those big-time teams. So they need a big win tonight. Now, in regards to the ladder, the Eels, like I said, they're down there in 15th position on 22 points, equal with the Dragons. They've got a minus 136 points differential, whilst the Dragons are minus 94 points differential. If the Eels lose this game, they would stay in 15th position because the Knights are 4 points below them on 18 points, and they would just have to hope that the Knights don't beat the Sharks on Sunday. Because if the Knights won that, they'd be within 2 points of them. But either way, Eels this weekend would finish off in 15th with a loss. If they won, they would go above the Dragons, and they also would go above the Cowboys onto 24 points. Cowboys on 23 points. So they'd go to 13th, and then they'd be equal with the Rabbitohs and the Tigers on minus 151, and the Tigers on minus 113. So they would go above the Rabbitohs with their minus 136 points differential. And if they won this game by 26, 16, 23, 24 points or more, they won by 24 points more. They go above the Tigers as well into 11th position. This is what I'm saying. If the Eels can find a way to finish off this season with a bang and win their last 2 games, they can finish as high as like 10th, 11th position, which would be respectable for them considering how their season's gone. It would be respectable, a lot more so than where they're obviously currently at right now. So the last 15th with a win, they would go up into potentially 11th, but more than likely 12th position, and then they just have to hope that, because the Rabbitohs have already got their bye, so they would go straight back above them, but they just have to hope the Cowboys lose to the Broncos, the Dragons lose to Manly, and that's about it. So that's the Eels. Then on the Warriors side, they're in 4th position on 34 points. Now they've got a plus 26 points differential, which I've been talking about all season long. And copped a little bit of criticism for it, but it's pretty impactful right now. Because if you had a good points differential, you wouldn't be as worried about dropping out of that top 4. Now, you're on 34 points by yourself. If you win this game, you would go to 36 points. You can still technically get 3rd, but because of that points differential, it's just not going to happen. It just realistically isn't going to happen because the Bulldogs have one more game against the Sharks next week. They've got a plus 138 points differential with your plus 26. That's a 112 point swing, and you would need to get a huge win here, like a massive, massive win against the Eels, and then next week you need to get another massive, massive win against Manly, or else the Bulldogs lose by a good margin to the Sharks. So it realistically is out of the equation. It's not what you're looking for. You're not looking for 3rd place. Who cares? Just looking to make that top 4. So if you win this game, you'll be in 4th. But if you lose this game, this is where it gets scary because the Broncos, they're on 32 points. They have a plus 148 points differential. They play the Cowboys. They should win that game. So if the Broncos won that, you would drop down into 5th position. And the Sharks, they're on 32 points with a plus 67 points differential, 41 points better than you. Well, if they beat the Knights, then they will also go above the Warriors. So the Warriors could finish as low as 6th position this week, and it's actually quite likely. If you lose this game, it is actually extremely likely that you finish off the round in 6th position because the Broncos and Sharks probably should be winning those games. But you can't drop any further down because the Panthers did lose, so they're on 31 points, and that means that they're done in regards to being able to jump above you. So no matter what, you will finish at least in 6th or above this season. But if you lose this game, it's pretty likely that you'll definitely be out of the top 4 because there's no way Broncos and Sharks both lose to Cowboys and Knights. But like I said, there could be a shot at 6th. However, again, you will get a home final this year, and that's the main thing because 7th and 8th are the only 2 teams that do not get a home final. But there you go, guys. That is the little wrap-up for this game here today. Obviously, get to the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're saying. Let me know if you disagree with me. And please explain to me why you disagree with me, if you do disagree in regards to my thought process about the Warriors right now. Obviously, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And let's hopefully see the Warriors bounce into some form here. Let's hopefully see the Warriors bounce into some absolute form. All right, let's move that chat there. I'm going to have a drink first. And there we go. Breezy says Warriors aren't benching anyone like the Panthers, right? That would be the most stupid thing for the Warriors to do, Breezy. Why would the Warriors do that? The Warriors would effectively guarantee themselves not to make the top 4. The Panthers didn't play their team because they basically said, we're not going to make the top 4. The Sharks, the Broncos, and the Warriors are all it's in their hands comparatively to the Panthers. So the Panthers were like, we're not going to make top 4. And because the Dolphins lost last week to Manly, they also can't drop out of the top 8. So they're sitting in a top 8 spot of purgatory where they felt like, well, the Sharks, Broncos, and Warriors, there's going to be enough wins out of these last 2 games that they're not going to be able to jump into the top 4, so they don't really give a shit where they finish because they're just going to be there in the finals anyway. So that's why they rested their players. The Warriors would be the stupidest team in the history of the planet to go and rest their players because this is a really important position. 4th position and above gets a double chance. If you lose first week of the finals, you still get to play the second week of the finals. But if you lose in the first week of the finals from 5th to 8th, you're out. You're gone. The season's done. So although you get a home final there, regardless, you get a home final in the second week anyway for the Warriors if they were to lose in the first round to the Raiders as we currently speak. There is no way you'd rather play a full streak of games rather than potentially getting an upset win in the week 1 and then going all the way through the preliminary final just with a nice little skip and a step, you know? So no, the Warriors are not resting any players. It would be absolutely pointless to do that and it would be very, very silly. Joshua said Sutton getting around Paris, so it's Diggs. Lorenzo says, hi mate, who would you back between Broncos and Roosters in finals week 1? Broncos would be the home team. I would say with no Reynolds it's going to be tough. Sam Walker will be back by then. That's a tough one. That's a real tough one, actually. That's a really good question. Who would I tip between the Broncos and Roosters at Suncorp week 1 of the finals? Broncos will still be out without Ezra Mam. Adam Reynolds apparently did his hammy again. Kind of retinkered it, so he'll be out of week 1. They're saying. Still no Simon Cobbo. I don't think Xavier Willison's out for the season, I believe. I might take the Roosters there. But that's a really tough game to predict if that is the case and the Roosters do actually make the finals because right now it's not actually looking likely they make the finals. The Roosters were looking guaranteed belters going into last week and then lost the Eels. So now it's not looking likely because they have a really tough game against the Storm tonight. If they win that game, then they're basically guaranteed for mine because they should beat the Rabbitohs, and even if not, I just feel like they should do it. I think if they beat the Storm tonight, I'll be locking them in, but it still wouldn't be locked in provided the Dolphins do beat the Titans and Manly do beat the Dragons. But Manly's points differential is just really poor right now, +4. Klaus says afternoon all. Sean says afternoon. Nick Gill says evening to all the BKR community. James Stevens says Bronx Nation. Yeah, fun fact for you. I'm just looking to see where the Broncos are right now. Are they? Oh, they're not playing today. Yeah, no, James. Yeah, no. They're not playing today. So interesting comment, Bronx Nation. But thank you for commenting that. It does seem to me like the Broncos aren't playing today. Yeah, no, they're playing tomorrow, Sean. Yeah, no, they're playing tomorrow. So thank you for the Bronx Nation, but they're not actually playing today. Zakor says, hi, Big Sport, and everyone in the chat. Get around your Zakor. Amy says, bro, I'm watching on TV and iPad. Good stuff, Amy. Good stuff. Ains says, up the wires from Thailand. Get around here in Thailand. Sawadee krap. I really want Parra to win, Amy says, but I don't think a lot of the Warriors fans here will like that. DeRay says, I think the Sharks are favourites for top 4 if the Warriors lose because they'll play a dog side that rests players next week. Well, you're probably right. The Bulldogs probably rest players next week. To be fair, they're not really playing for anything right now. If the Storm did lose, no, that points differential is just not good enough. No, the Storm are +258, the Dogs are +138. The Dogs do probably rest players against the Sharks next week. You would assume so. They're guaranteed basically for that top 3. They're guaranteed exactly for the 3rd spot, which we said for a couple of weeks now. Bulldogs probably do rest their players, and Sharks. Look, it would come down to the Broncos, though, because the Broncos have a better points differential than them by plus 148 to plus 67. So, let's assume the Warriors go and lose this game or the Rabbitohs game, I do think that the Sharks win against the Knights and then probably against the Bulldogs if the Bulldogs rest their players. But it would come down to the Broncos, and then they do play the Storm next week, who... it depends on if they're still fighting for a minor premiership. They may still rest players, or they may not give a shit. We'll see what the Storm think, because they're in second position. But if the Raiders just win out, it doesn't really matter what the Storm do. But the Storm can put pressure on them with a win this week and then also win next week, because they play before the Raiders both times. So yeah, if you're assuming the Warriors lose one of their remaining 2 games against the Eels and the Manly, then yeah, Sharks would probably be belters to tip in for that top 4, because they do have an easier matchup, assuming the Dogs rest their players. As of course, if the Melbourne Storm win tonight game, will the Roosters still be on the top 8? Probably not. They will be top 8 for now, but it will come down to the Dolphins playing on Sunday. They play the Titans. So if the Dolphins win, their points differential is already better than them. So the Dolphins will jump in. And then Manly, their points differential is plus 4. So they are down by 68 to the Roosters. But if they won by a good margin over the Dragons, they'd be well and truly in the fight as well. It's just the Dolphins next week play the Raiders. And you would assume the Raiders... Well, it depends on that Storm game tonight. The Storm game against the Roosters tonight is a really big telling point for who rest players next week. It's Storm Raiders, but the Dolphins obviously do play Canberra next week, and then Manly do play the Warriors. And we'll see if the Warriors won this game here today, and the Broncos and Sharks both lost. Doubtful, but if they did, the Warriors would be guaranteed top 4. So we just need to see this weekend to have an understanding about what teams are going to do next week. Because right this very second, a lot of teams won't rest their players or shouldn't rest their players based off of necessities. Infinite Kiwi says, wet weather footy. Is it raining over there in Auckland, is it? Is it raining? Gee whiz. Gee whiz. Nikhil says, I was seeing a lot of lightning on the way home this evening. Was better be up for this. Well, they didn't do too well in the rain against the Canterbury Bulldogs a couple of weeks ago, so we'll hope to see a bit of a better performance than that one. They did get punched in the mouth in that game. Jared Ford says, dude, the weather is diabolical. Early spring equinox. All right, well, a lot of drop balls today then, you'd assume. Oh, again, the Warriors, it doesn't matter if Zeus himself is slamming down a lightning bolt into the middle of the stadium. It doesn't matter what jack shit's happening here today. The Warriors can't lose this game. There's no excuses. They have absolutely no excuses. The weather doesn't look diabolical, is it? It doesn't look diabolical from what I just saw there, but I could be wrong. Jared Force has had his first try. Get around Tanner Boyd. Get around Tanner Boyd. Does not miss. Oh my gosh, the bloke just does not miss. Jared Force says, hello from the middle of nowhere, Northland, New Zealand, Ruawai. Get around in Ruawai. Cloud says, oh my gosh, Saints better not lose to Manly. Why? Saints season is done. They're fighting for pride, but why? DeRose says, congrats to Josh Adokar on game 200 as well. Yeah, he's been a fantastic player throughout his career. He's had a decent enough season for the Parramatta Eels. He scored 4 tries out of his last 5 games, I believe. So maybe up for 1 here today. But Warriors, I tell you, you got no excuses. You got no excuses. Infinite Kiwi getting in from Wellington. RTS first try. Get around you. Davo says, if the Storm lose against the Chooks tonight and rest a lot of players next week and lose that as well, can they lose second place to the Dogs? Pretty much no. Pretty much no, because the Storm are on plus 258 on 40 points. The Dogs are on plus 138 on 38 points. The Dogs have 1 game to go. Assuming the Storm lose, like you said, then the Bulldogs, assuming they beat the Sharks and the Storm lose the Broncos, they'll both be on 40 points, but it's currently a plus 120 point swing. So no, the Storm would have to lose quite well to the Roosters and then quite well to the Broncos, and the Bulldogs would have to win by a large margin against the Sharks, and with what the Sharks are playing for, I just don't see that happening. So no, the Storm are locked in for at least top 2. All right, so the Parramatta Eels are out in the field, and now the Wires coming out onto the stadium. I'm going to refresh this so I can get ahead of Jay. Jay, I beat you today. I've refreshed the score, and it's going to come up automatically, mate. This is professional scenes here, mate. This is like professional scenes here. Gee whiz. My goodness me. I'm absolutely flying. I can't believe it. Infinite Kiwi says, Storm Chooks later. Yeah, should be a good one. Highlander says, Warriors 13+. They are at home today, so you are allowed to support them today, even though you've been a little bit debatable on your Warriors support in recent weeks. Chelsea Pass says, they got to beat a massive points differential, so probably not. Yeah, no, the Storm are guaranteed into second position at minimum. Ufai Mia says, go to Warriors. Casey says, no, Davo. Think the for and against is too much? No, Davo? Oh, you're talking about Davo there. I thought you were referring to like Dave Fafita or something, and I just didn't know what you're talking about, but... We got there in the end. Infinite Kiwi says Golden Point footy broke them. Who are you talking about? You talking about Panthers? You talking about Panthers? Ludar Fire says Warriors 13 plus 36-10. I like it. I do like it. Casey says the hat will forever live on in our hearts. Yeah, thank you for making your photo me with the Vietnamese hat. Vietnamese. Warriors are out on the field. Oh, CJ. Oh my gosh. This is top tier category. Scott James says, hope you're well. A lot of people I know moving to Bali due to the tax increase and it's getting harder to afford home. Well, I'm not going to go against that. I currently live overseas, literally everywhere. So, I know the feeling. But the Warriors will receive the ball and it's going to be first tackle for the Wars at the 10. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for new around here. We'll be live for every single game this week. But yeah, Scott, that's kind of what people are doing. Lately, the Western countries are becoming very expensive to live in. So look at me. I've been in Thailand, India, Vietnam all year, and it's a lot cheaper to live here than there, that's for sure. But third tackle on Aaron Clark with a huge run out to the 35. That's exactly, or 25. It's exactly what I want to see from your forwards early doors here just to set that platform. James 7 says, Chicken's real dark horse if they make the 8. Oh, after their loss of 30-10 last week to the Roosters, it's not looking great because that shows some real significant weaknesses in their defense. And it's like, yeah, sure. I had Hainsey crying in my DM saying, I shouldn't have the Roosters on fraud alert because they lost Sam Walker. Josh Adokar brings the ball to the 25 on first tackle. They lost Sam Walker, and it was like I was meant to provide a bit of sympathy excuses for the Roosters in that game. And it's like, well, okay, that might impact your attack, but you still gave up 30 points to the Parramatta Eels. And the Parramatta Eels are a bottom 4 team right now. So, no, the fraud alert was definitely valid there for the Roosters and still absolutely is. And I do worry. I was actually thinking that they could have been the dark horses. Good tackle there from Kurt Catewell, brings the Eels back to the 30. Third tackle. I was thinking the Roosters could have been a bit dark horses, but last week really, kicked my guts for that one. Ray Murphy says Warriors can't afford to lose this game. Warriors can't afford to lose another game. They just can't afford to lose again. And that's for the rest of the season. Paul Maxey says, hey, mate, go the Wars. Where's our fraud alert gone? Well, it controversially went last week because a lot of Warriors fans were whinging about me still having them on fraud alert despite just, beating the Titans, the 17th place Titans. So I did take him off. I think this game will tell us if they really deserve to be on there or not. So Dallin Martinez-Lesnau will be second tackle at the 30. Sometimes I do cave to the pressure. Sometimes I don't give a shit. And for example, with Dasmay, who keeps trying to put the Dogs on scam, I haven't caved to that man's pressure, but that's because that man's a massive muppet. Third tackle here for the Warriors, and they'll get the offload to, it's a knock-on from the Wars at the 42. No, it's a penalty to the Warriors. It is luckily a penalty to the Warriors because it would have been a knock-on otherwise. Penalty to the Warriors. David says, your opinion on the look for the game with teams resting players like what the Panthers did? I don't like what the Panthers did, but at the end of the day, it's their disposal. It's their option. They're allowed to do it. Durad says, wouldn't Roosters winning actually kind of benefit the Bronx because it gives the Storm a higher chance of resting players next week if Raiders beat Tigers to steal the minor prem? Sure. But, what's your point of your comment? But sure. Casey says, sorry, Raiders fans, with the Storm yoinks to the minor premiership, it'd be very funny. Nah, I'd like to see the Raiders win the minor prem. They deserve it. So it's going to be the Warriors now who get this ball to the 30. Second tackle through James Fisher-Harris. First attack of the game, Wade Egan to Harris to Vida. Out the back into Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd short ball into the line for Nia Corey. He'll be 20 metres out from the line. Third tackle. 20 metres out. It doesn't look like it's awful weather. Everyone was saying how awful the weather looks. It doesn't look like it's even raining right now. Scott James says, hopefully a good game. So there's an injury right now to Nia Corey on the ground. God bless him. There was an injury to him on the ground. I'm not too sure what's happened. But you good, Jay. Yes, I did, son. Yes, I did. Deary me. And I don't know how he's come out worse for wear here. I'm not too sure how he's come out. It's going to be a fine tackle. I don't know how he's come out worse for wear here, but he has. Glasses because of Fulton years ago. Oh, because of the rivalry. Okay. So the Warriors now 20 metres away. They go left-hand side to Aaron Clark. It'll be fourth tackle, 10 metres out. I think Nia Corey's okay. And Aaron Clark will roll it back here to Wade Egan. Full tackle, 10 metres away. Let's see this attack here, Warriors. It's not been great all season, but here we go. Left-hand side, Adam Pompey, 5 metres out from the line. Fifth tackle. Fifth tackle, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He'll get it back here to Harris Tavita. He'll kick this ball across into a really good area. Good kick. Good. Goes up. Who's going to put this? I think this is a knock-on here from the Warriors. Adokar might be away here. Adokar is away. He's at the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. Adokar's going to score here. Adokar's going to score here at the 40, the 30. We're going to have to come back and have a look at where this ball's been bouncing around. But Adokar is going to go the length of the field, and he is going to score. He is going to score, and the Warriors off to a horrific start here. They're going to call try, and we're going to have to check in the bunker where this ball's bouncing around. But I think the Warriors knock this ball on in the in-goal on Parramatta's side, and then Addo-Carr just runs the length of the field. Okay, here we go. It was a good kick there from Aristotavita as well. Yeah, the ball's just bouncing around backwards, and Addo-Carr's going to score this try. There's nothing wrong with this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this, and he was just too fast for the Warriors players chasing back, and it will be 4-0 Parramatta with a kick to come. Duraz says, bro, losing Sam Walker is not an excuse for 18 errors, correct? And your $1.30 favourites, yes. Walker out is huge, but not an excuse to delete 30 points. Correct, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, so that was just a drop off on the Warriors, and that will be a try time. That'll be the try time. Frank says, until the Gold Coast Titans get a coach to pick up players who aren't looking for lots of money on contract and there for a holiday destination, will be the only way we can see them challenge the 8. Okay, but sure. Not sure the relevance, but sure. AJ says, Raiders versus Storm Grand Final. Well, that is the likely option when they're in first and second position, and I like the option. I think it's very basic, but there's a reason why it's basic, and that's because they're in first and second, and that means they're the best team so far this season. But yeah, I like it. Totally passes, I can get behind that. Sen says, good to see you again, mate. Get around your Sen. New Zealand guy says, try. It is a try time. Duraz says, my main point was that Bronx barely beat the Storm, and Sharks should win both their games. So Storm wrestling players would be useful for the Bronx, considering they never beat the Storm. Yeah, again, sure. I don't really understand kind of what the point is behind it, because yes, that is correct, but that's going to be a kick there through the post, so it'll be 6-0 to the Eels. Again, you're not wrong. That is correct, but okay, we'll wait and see if the Roosters can beat the Storm tonight, which I don't think happens, but we'll see. Obviously, the Roosters with no Sam Walker, the Storm with no... actually, is Harry Grant playing, or is he not? I don't think he is. I know Jerome Hughes obviously isn't, but again... Yeah, sure, it's correct. Actually, to be fair, the Roosters could win today because the Storm are without Xavier Coates, Tui Kamikamica, Nick Meaney, Harry Grant, Elliot Sakatoa, Josh King, and also Jerome Hughes. So, there's a shout. There's a shout, but this Storm team has been able to do that and win that game against the Panthers, even when they had all their players out. All right, so it will be the Eels receiving the ball here at the 3. And they're going to pass this ball. They're going to quickly scoot this ball across, and Jermaine Hopcourt to bring it out to the 10 on first tackle. Infinite Kiwi says the Fox Sheesh. Royal Grand Majesty says, which team do you think has the best chance against the full-strength Storm? Well, I'm going to make the obvious answer and say Canberra. I'll say the obvious answer and say Canberra. Look, I think with the Sharks, they're a real odd one, man, because they play some really boring and basic footy. Third tackle for the Eels at 30, but there is a reason why so many people had them for a top 4 finish this year. There's a reason why I had them as the Premier winners pre-season. They haven't shown it throughout the year, but if it just does click, and I don't know if it will click, but if it just does click, they have beaten the Storm already this year, 31-26. So I wouldn't put it past the Sharks either, but I just couldn't say it with chest because they haven't shown enough. But with their team lineup, with the team on paper, they really should be able to push these big time teams when it comes to the finals. But again, we just need to see it from the Sharks. All right, so it's 33 minutes to go the first half. First tackle for the Warriors at the 25. Tozzy passes. Fox been pretty good signing for the Eels. Harry suspended, Storm resting a lot of lads. Are they resting them? Are they resting them, or are they injured? So the Warriors will bring this ball third tackle here to the 40. If they're resting them, then Broncos fans, that's a slap to your face next week because they won't rest them next week. But if they're injured, then they'll be a different story, and they might just rest them again for the fact that they want to get an extra weekend to them. Left hand side of the Warriors, and Adam Pompey now he'll bring this ball to the 33 on fit tackle, 7 minutes in. Oh, they are resting. Okay, fair enough, Kokomo. So who are they resting? So I'm assuming they're resting Xavier Coates. I'm assuming they're resting maybe Nick Meaney. I know Harry Grant's suspended. So what, are they resting Tui Kamikamica? That's an interesting rest, but sure. So the Eels now second tackle will bring it out to the 20. Slippery Eels class. This Lagan says, g'day all, love to see 200 for the Fox. Yeah, the old Fox. Well, how do you Bulldogs fans feel about him? I know you had there was a lot of animosity towards him at the end of last year. He was like your club culture legend of the Bulldogs, and then had his situation the week of the Manly game in the first week of the finals, and you guys lost, and a lot of people took the blame out on him. Do Bulldogs fans still have a lot of resentment for him, or are they kind of moved on from that now? Yeah, Katoa is another one, Infinite Kiwi, that I'd assume would be on the rested list if they are resting the players. Oh, Tui HIA, okay, thank you. I was going to say, that's a really odd one to rest, but I would assume that Elias Katoa would be one of the rested ones. So first tackle now for the Warriors, and they're going to bring it out to the 28 minutes in here. Lagan says, no, I love him and forgive him, but I do understand the hate. I think I understood the heavy criticism at the time. I think now, with it all said and done, it's like the Bulldogs have been able to move on to bigger and better things. Addo-Carr's doing well at the Parramatta Eels. I think that the resentment definitely should be a lot less than what it was previously. But at the time, I definitely understood the criticism because that was, the biggest game for the Dogs in 10 years, and he went and did something a bit silly. Not just a bit silly, but very silly. And Warriors now, fifth tackle, will get this ball to the halfway point. 30 minutes to go of the first half, 10 minutes in. Parramatta do lead 6-0 through a big 100-metre try to Josh Addo-Carr. Hit that like button and subscribe. The Eels will get the ball now to 7 through Zach Lomax, and he's going to bring it out to the 20. Logan says, at the end of the day, he was dealing with mental health issues at the time, but it doesn't excuse. Agree, doesn't excuse. We all do have our own mental struggles. Every single person does. It doesn't mean that you've got to go do something like that, but again, we move past it, and, everyone makes mistakes, man. So third tackle now for the Eels, and they'll be taken down here at the 30. Warriors, 5 from 5 completions so far. Eels, 4 from 4, so not a lot of errors. I think you guys have had a bit of a shenanigans here with this weather, because there's no bad weather here. Penalty to the Eels at the 40. I think you guys have been playing a little bit of funny buggers here. I think there's been a little bit of funny buggers here, because the weather looks completely fine. People talking about torrential. There's no torrential nothing here, but there's a torrential penalty coming against the Warriors. I'll give you that. Draz says, if the Wars finished top 4 but went out straight sets, is it still a great season for the Warriors overall? Yeah. Well, I tipped them for second last. Yeah, I put my hand up and say I was completely wrong. I thought they'd go through a major readjustment period post Sean Johnson. I wasn't expecting their attack to be flowing, which necessarily hasn't been flowing this year, so I was kind of right about that. But the defense has been so good for the most part of the year that that's what's got them into their position. So absolutely, regardless of how their season ends up, I've got to say the Warriors have had a fantastic year based off of, most people having them around that bottom 4 area, not necessarily in last position, because the Warriors don't usually get last. Right inside here, Yongi taking down the 25, second tackle. They've never gotten last, actually. Most people had the Warriors finishing quite low, but they've come up and they're in the top 4 race right now. And even if they finish in 5th or 6th, it's still been a successful season for the Warriors. So third tackle now for the Eels at the 20, but they would have to, preface that by going on and doing better next year. That's a knock-on from the Eels. That is a knock-on. The Warriors will get the ball here at the 15. Knock-on. Yeah, there's no way that anyone could criticise the Warriors season. No one had them for here. No one. And a lot of Warriors fans, I feel like, would have had some doubts as well. Of course, Warriors fans are going to believe in their team more than, general consensus NRL community and people who don't support the Warriors. Of course, you're always going to have, like, for example, me with the Titans, I had them for 11th. People had them for lower, and it's like, I think the people are going to have them lower regardless, even if they had a good team, looking likely to make the 8. To be fair, a lot of people actually did have them in the 8, but the point of the matter is people who support their team are obviously going to put their team higher, but I still don't think Warriors fans had them for the 8 for the most part. I don't think many Warriors fans did. But if Warriors fans in the chat can disagree with me, let me know. Try and take yourself back to pre-season. Try and remove what you've seen in hindsight, and try and take yourself back to pre-season and tell me if you genuinely thought this team was a top 4 team, let alone a top 8 team. That's what I would ask the Warriors fans here. Third tackle here at the 40 for the Warriors. Lager says, would you agree in that when it comes to Fox skill in his career, we think of his Storm days, but I think in his career, most people would look at his Dogs Eels days as he was more influential to the NRL. I think it depends on when you've been an NRL fan. A hard question. I'd probably look at him for who he is as a bloke from his Bulldogs days. Eels I wouldn't even include in the question here, but Eels will get the ball here at the 15, first tackle. I wouldn't even include the Eels in this discussion, but the Storm definitely for his quality in his career, for sure. Like, he was incredible down there at Melbourne. And then for the culture and for the character that he is, I'd look at the Bulldogs, and then, I wouldn't even include the Eels. Because although people loved him at the Storm, his popularity has increased since he left. Yeah, because at the Storm, he's not able to be his... Oh, they've lost the ball! And they kick it across to the side. The Warriors... Oh, my goodness me. Who's touched this? Is this Warriors' ball? It is Warriors... No. Yeah, it is Warriors' ball. No, it's not. It's a knock on Eels. So it is Warriors' ball, but not from them playing it on. The Warriors will get the ball here at the 33 from a mistake from Parramatta. They may challenge this. No, they're not. Mitchell Mo's just going to accept it. Brent says, is there another New Zealand side coming to the NRL? Probably is the answer to your question. Probably, because Perth are coming in 2027. Papua New Guinea are meant to come in 2028, but I think it'll be more so 2029. And then the NRL will have a promise, basically, that there'll be 20 teams by the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane. So there will be a 20th team to avoid those buys, because we will get a real respite from buys in 2027 and probably 2028, and then those buys will come back because of the uneven teams, and they'll try and get that Christchurch team in, I believe. All right, so the Warriors will be 25 metres out from the Eels line. They give it to Aaron Clark. Aaron Clark to Tanner Stowers-Smith, and he's now going to be 22 metres out from the line, second tackle. And he's saying, well, guys, how long has the Warriors been in the comp? 30 years? 1995, so yes. Tanner Boyd, left-hand side. Harris Davida. Oh, good tackle there from Mitchell Moses. Harris Davida taken down at the 10. He rolls it back to Adam Pompey, then off to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd to Fisher Harris, and he's going to be 7 metres out here, 4 tackle. Warriors, we need to see something, man. We really need to see something. Aaron Clark to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd at the back of the chance. Neil Klukstad, he steps, and he'll be taken down 5 metres out chance. 5 metres out. Now they get it all the way across here to Stowers-Smith, Aaron Clark, Fisher Harris. This is a broken down play. Harris Avita puts it up into the air. Good kick though. And knocked back here for the Warriors. Kirk Catewell throws it. Is that knocked on from the Eels, or is that just Warriors? Oh my gosh, the Eels are away again. The Eels are away again off a kick. Oh, they're going to score again. They're going to score again here. They're going to score again here. Oh no, they're taking it down to the 35. Oh my gosh, Warriors on attack today have been so... The Eels have absolutely score here. They absolutely score here. Hits the grass, but surely... Papali, oh no, they've broken it down. They've broken it down. Now the Warriors players will be back on side. It'll be 6 again here for the Eels at 33. The Warriors attack has been so detrimental and so abhorrently bad today that they gave up 100-metre try and they nearly gave up a second 100-metre try. Gee whiz, Warriors have got to get their attack sorted, man. And the thing is, their kicks from Harris Tavita are actually been pretty good. I think that the kick that ended up being the Josh Adokar try was actually really good. It was just unfortunate that Adokar picked it up and ran 100, and that's one guy you don't want to see the ball in the hands of in open space. And the second one there was actually a pretty good kick too, considering it was a broken down play. Oh, he was going to score into the post. Oh no, Warriors. Oh no, Warriors. Oh, Warriors, no. No, Warriors. No, no, no. No, 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 no. This ain't good. 10-0 with the kick to come, and it's right in front of the post. It's about to be 12-0 any moment now. Ooh, Parramatta, they're doing pretty well right now. The Warriors are not looking good. And ultimately, both tries have come off of the Warriors' attack. Oh, the overhead. Off the head of Penasini, and oh, geez, Warriors, this ain't great. This isn't great right now. FKM says, I'm a Warriors fan. Thought they would finish around 13th, 14th. Yeah, valid. Valid. Nate says, Eels up, damn Waz, better get your act together. Yeah, well, it's not looking great right now, man. Their attack has been... That defense was poor. They missed 2 tackles, and... Yeah, that's poor. That's real poor stuff there from the Warriors. Real poor stuff. But long way to go. Long way to go. Laurie says, always knew the Waz would make finals, but to be honest, not top 4, but top 6 up the Waz. Why? Why, Laurie? Why? I want to understand your thought process pre-season. I'm aware you're a Warriors fan, so I feel like there's going to be a bit of bias here. But at the end of the day, I want to see whether it's bias or not. Your opinion on why you thought the Warriors were a top 6 team this year, post Sean Johnson, and with coming off the back of some pretty bad losses at the back end of last year, and a major readjustment going on across the club. Why did you have the Warriors as a top 6 team pre-season? Largan says, can smell fraud already for the Waz. Can smell it, but I can't put it in 7-8 minutes in. I cannot do it. Best Sports says, look at the crowd. It's all Eels fans. It's embarrassing. Well, no, the cameras are just... The camera work at Go Media is actually some of the best in the game of rugby league. You know, they do really pinpoint the away fans because they want to show that people are coming across to watch the games, and New Zealand is a very lovely place, and they do really welcome you in there. And no, there is definitely more Warriors fans here, and there is you just can't really hear them right now because their team is performing pretty damn well poorly. Pretty poorly. But also, apparently, it's been wet weather. Apparently, there's a lot of wet weather in the area throughout today. Eels will get the ball here at the 5. Mitchell Moses off to Junior Bolo, and he'll bring it out to the 15 on first tackle. Apparently, it's been raining a lot. So it's like when you see games like that where it's raining a lot, especially these big trips, you're going to see people who have already booked their tickets to fly across from Sydney for Parramatta to Auckland. And it's like if they've already flown all the way over there, they're going to go to the game. And then you're going to find Warriors fans who aren't necessarily going to go out into the rain when they're already there and they see them every single week. So sometimes you do see that disparity because of that. So 4 tackle here for the Eels, and they'll get this ball to the 50. FKM says Penrith resting players could be genius if they get the Warriors week 1. Penrith, they could get Warriors week. Actually, they're likely to get Warriors week 1. If Penrith comes 7th and the Warriors lose this and the Sharks and Broncos both win, the Warriors are in 6th, so sure. But to be fair, Warriors good take there from Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at the 23, first tackle. To be fair, though, the Panthers did, with all their origin players out against a completely fresh Warriors team that just had no Kurt Catewell, they did beat the New Zealand Warriors by about 14 points in Auckland at that origin period. Sam says, I took home to win. Well, man, there's still 62 minutes to go here. 6 again for the Warriors. That's huge at the 50. The biggest issue here, first tackle for the Warriors at the 50. Biggest issue is that when they've been on the attack, that's where they concede the tries. It's crazy. They've basically conceded both of these tries. Watini Lesnak's trying to claim a high tackle penalty here. They've basically conceded both of these tries off of attack. First one, definitely. Second one, a couple of plays after, but still off of their attack. Aussie Mozzie says, best sport, that's because most of New Zealand lives in Australia. There is that thought process too. Most of New Zealand does live in the Gold Coast. That's why it's called West Auckland. Brenton Tan says, do they not practice attack? Well, they have practiced attack. Their kicks actually aren't too bad, but it's just that they're not, the ball's not going in their favour, really. Like, when they've knocked the ball back or whatever, or the first try was a bit of a schmozzle, but the kick was good. And the second try was a bit of a schmozzle, but the kick was good. So left-hand side now, and it's going to be Harris Tavita taking down the 35, third tackle, 20 minutes into the first half here, and it's going to be a penalty for the Warriors. Penalty to the Warriors. Okay, this will be huge. They're going to take... No, they don't take the quick tap. 20 minutes in, 20 minutes to go the first half. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and Warriors, you good. Change this around, quick smart. Like I said, is it just me, or does it look different to watch an NRL game in New Zealand on TV compared to an Australian game? I think it's probably just you there, mate. I think it's probably just you. Sam says, Eels are good enough to beat the Warriors. Thanks, mate. They're up 12-0 right now, so that would probably suggest that. Klaus says, Warriors years ago lived Bondi, now around... What? Warriors years ago lived Bondi, now around Para Penrith. What? I don't even know what are you saying? Nate Jason's need to score next to Waza. It's going to be a tough night. You're probably right, but the Warriors on the attack here, and they're going to be 10 metres away here from the line. And Wade Egan will go left-hand side to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd then gives it off to Harris Tavita. Adam Pompey! Try time for the Waz. And there we go. And there we go. Nice quick passing there from the Waz. Nice slick passing. And they will score on the left-hand side. 12-4 to the Eels with a kick to come. I think the only thing that I would agree with you, Lag, in regards to the different viewpoints of Sky to Fox is the fan involvement. I think the way they show the fans is very different, but obviously the gameplay I don't think looks different whatsoever. But the way they show, whether it be the away fans or even the home fans, is very different. So I will agree with you in that capacity, but in regards to the actual gameplay, I don't see any difference whatsoever. Frank Cruz, so tip the Dragons to beat Manly 10 plus, roll the dice. I don't think that's going to happen, but good luck. Jason Saab and Tuipulotu will be the big matchup. Tuipulotu has average 195 metres, whereas Saab 120. Sure, but Manly are playing for a top 8 spot and coming off a big 50-point win against the Dolphins, whilst the Dragons are playing for nothing. And Nikhil says, how are we conceding like this from their goal line? Yeah, it was a worry, Nikhil, but at least you've scored. You put it over, and guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Tanner Boyd does not miss. Tanner Boyd does not miss. He don't miss. He don't miss, mate. Cloudy day here in Vietnam, though. Very cloudy day. A lot of rain around here. No shenanigans here. I'm not lying to you here. Nate J says, take the 2. Hey, look, if they were the Dragons, they probably would have. They probably would have. But Tanner Boyd to take the conversion here. Still looking at these clouds, though. Clouds looking really menacing over here. He does not miss this bloke. He does not miss. And Tanner Boyd is going to forfeit the kick, funnily enough. Yeah, the Warriors have decided to forfeit the kick here. And they're not going to actually take the conversion, which is really nice of them just to give the Eels a little bit of a head start here. Yeah, no, really unfortunate there that the Warriors decided to not take that kick. So it will stay 12-4 here to the Eels with 18.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Nate J says, there you go, that's promising. Infinite Kiwi says, chalk it up. Nick Hill says, about time we score. Klaus says, means New Zealand move from east to west. Lager says, I think Tanner Boyd does miss sometimes. No, that's not what happens here. No, Tanner Boyd never misses, mate. He does not miss. But luckily for the Eels, he does decide to forfeit the kick and just be a bit nicer today. And that's just kind of what we go with, yeah. Kobe says, who just scored? Sorry, just came in. The try scorer for the Warriors was Adam Pompey. Adam Pompey for the Warriors. The 2 try scorers for the Eels so far have been Josh Adokar and Jack Williams. And Jack Williams scoring is quite funny, to be fair. All right, Eels to kick this one off. Brent says conversions are overrated. Yeah, that's why the Warriors sometimes do decide to forfeit a kick. You know, there's only 58 minutes left to go, so, you know, taking the forfeit of a kick makes the most sense with only 58 minutes left as well. You know, they just need to score tries. It's pretty obvious. So the Warriors here to James Fisher-Harris, and he'll bring this ball out here to the 10. Chauncey passes was giving Eels fans hope. Exactly right. Exactly right. Aaron Clark now, he'll bring it out to the 15. And ultimately, the Warriors are the only ones who have attacked today. Let's just put that one out there. The Warriors are the only ones to have attacked today. Yeah, they were down 12-0. Go figure. Go figure. First try scorer was Josh Adokar, Alphonse. He scored from 100 metres away. Aaron Clark brings out to the 35 on 4 tackle. He's been sold today. Sean James is West Auckland. I've never heard it called that before. Hey, Gold Coast is West Auckland. That's for sure. That is for sure. Fit tackle now for the 50, and Wade Egan go left-hand side to Harris DeVita, and he will bang that one down to the 13. A little bit risky there for Zach Lomax, and he'll bring it out to the 20 on first tackle. Axis says Warriors 24-32 to Eels. Thank you, Axis. I do believe that you have a biased intention mindset there by being a Broncos fan, because that would benefit the Broncos. So we're going to have to pass on your opinion. But thank you very much for your opinion. But we're going to have to pass on it and pretend like we didn't see it. So third tackle now for the Eels, and they're at the 40. Dave says, Tanner's still taking the conversion to save your life, man. Tanner boy doesn't miss, mate. They forfeited the kick, Dave. They forfeited the kick. If he had gone for the kick, he would have got it for sure, but he forfeited the kick, mate. So the Eels, Mitchell Moses, will be taking down the 40 on fit tackle. Tanner boy doesn't miss. I don't know how many times I'm going to tell you guys this. Like, it's getting real silly. Like, this is a very serious channel. Very, very incredibly serious channel. So the Warriors grab the ball at the 15, and Charles Neal-Klukstad will be your first tackle. Nate J says the touchies have it in for Tanner. The Bastards, he never misses. Exactly. Exactly. Roger. He'll bring it out to the 20 on second tackle. 16.5 minutes to go in the first half, and it'll be a penalty to the Warriors. That'll be huge. A penalty to the Warriors. Well, the Eels are giving away a couple of penalties now. Jay says, what's up, brother? How you been? Hoping the Warriors can pull off a dub tonight. Yeah, well, it's not been looking great these first 24 minutes, but they're still within the game. Down by 8, we're down by 12, and Eels, for me, have not attacked so far today, and yet they scored 12 points. So if you haven't been watching, that tells you a story. That does tell you a story. But no, I do think the Warriors win this game today, even despite their poor start, just because this mountain of possession really should be in their favour. Really should be in their favour. How long is a piece of string, Kobe? That's my answer for you. How long is a piece of string? So Fisher-Harris will be second tackle here at the 45. 15 minutes to go in the first half, and Warriors again back on relative attack here. Tanner Boyd out to Harris DeVita. They've been floating nicely down this left-hand side. He'll give it off to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and he'll push away from a couple. 35 metres away. He's still pushing away. He gets the offload to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd here with a great run. Gets the ball to the 23 on third tackle. Third tackle. Back on the attack. They've had plenty of attacks. That should be 6 again, and it will be 6 again for the Warriors. Here they go. Murata Niokore, first tackle, 13 metres out from the line. They roll it back to Wade Egan. Arguably should be 6 again, but they don't call it. First tackle now for the Warriors. Aaron Clark, Fisher-Harris, and he's 9 metres out. All right, Wise, let's see a flurry. Wade Egan, Aaron Clark, he'll be 2 metres out. He deserves a try with what he's done today so far. And it's going to be third tackle, Wade Egan. Oh, here we go. Tanner Boyd. Numbers galore, baby. Oh my goodness me, Mitchell Moses. Oh, is that Moses who with that? Oh, Mitchell Moses, take a bow. That defense, that is a guaranteed try with a brilliant try saver. That is incredible defense there from Mitchell Moses to hold him up there, Harris DeVita, and basically throw him over the sideline. I cannot believe that he's been able to stop that try. That is wild. That is really good defense from Mitchell Moses. Really good defense. Nate says, my little cousin used to call Roger Tui's Master Chef. Well, Roger Tui's Master Chef didn't get the ball there, and Harris DeVita went over the sideline. Totally pass, that's my New South Wales half, but New South Wales. Oh, they don't get it down there. They don't get it, New South Wales. They just don't get it. So first tackle here for the Eels of the 13. New Zealand guy said try. Well, don't know how he scored the try when the ball was over the sideline, but, we must be watching different games here. So second tackle. And off to Jack Williams, now third tackle at 25. The promising thing for the Warriors is that they're not giving the Eels any good possession. Like, the possession is just coming in their own 50. The negative is that they've scored both times from their own 50. Fourth tackle now for the Eels, and they'll be at the 30. And that is not going to be a good kick from Parramatta. So the Warriors are going to get back onto the attack here with Watene Lesniak. Oh, he slips over, though. Brings it to the 30, 35, and will be basically at the 40 on first tackle. Jamie says, hey, from Papua New Guinea in the village. Get around here, Papua New Guinea. Warriors bring it to the 45 on second tackle. Brandon says, what happened in the State of Origin? I forgot. Well, there's a lot of mathematicians around that could probably help you out. And New South Wales did actually win Game 1. So you would assume with the favouritism of the rosters they had that based off of Game 1, they obviously... And that was in Queensland too, Brent. I don't know if you know this. Yeah, New South Wales actually won at Suncorp Stadium, and they only needed to win one of those last two games, so someone could help us out and let us know who won. But Martin Iakura with a huge run here, taken down to the 20. Huge hole there. And now the Warriors on a quick run down that short side. Knock on from the Eels. Knock on from the Eels. Oh, wow, they're not going to call it? Yeah, commentary's talking about it too. I swear there was a knock on there from Josh Papali, but they've said no knock on, and now it's second tackle for the Eels, the 10. Wow-wee. Oh, Lagan says New South Wales won the 2025 State of Origin Series for those wondering. Oh, wow. That's very interesting. Third tackle here at the 11. Trying to figure out what I watched, and I think I didn't see that result, actually. I don't believe that was the result that I did see. Lagan. I think there's an accidental head clash here between James Fisher-Harris and Jermaine Hopgood. Yeah, they're both wobbling here. They're both wobbling. Riley Smith now fit tackle at 22. Good defense from the Warriors there. Still think the Warriors should have got the ball, though, from a knock-on. But the Eels will kick that from 25 out. And that's a great kick from Mitchell Moses. That's a really good kick from Moses. He's been unbelievable for the Eels throughout the season when he's been playing. And the Warriors will bring it out to the 20. Lagan says you must have been watching the Vietnamese State of Origin. No, Vietnamese State of Origin doesn't actually happen, Lagan, but I'm sure that you were watching the Antarctican Penguins, that's for sure. Maybe the Tajikistani Milkers or something, because I know for sure you weren't watching it when Queensland slap you. When Queensland slap you in Game 1, Game 2 or Game 3. They slap you. They got the slap, and it came for the back end. All right, Lagan? And don't you forget it. One in a row. New South Wales' famous slogan. So, fourth tackle, Kurt Catewell gets the ball to the 43, and now fifth tackle. Now, Shanghai Sharks to be exact. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, you're watching the Chinese State of Origin. That does make sense there, Logan. Just don't forget the old slap it at the back end. Booshka! So, the Eels will be taken down at 10 metres, first tackle. Again, the Warriors' defence has been really solid these last few moments, keeping the Eels down here. But that kicking game from the Eels is what's got them out of trouble. Yeah, Brent, now remember the old slapped you. The old slapped you. It does come around. And the old slapped you did happen. So third tackle now for the Eels at 25. 10 minutes to go the first half. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Eels will get that ball left-hand side. Up 12-4. It's definitely been an interesting first half. Very interesting. Seb Watson says, "Was robbed." Don't encourage him, please. Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. So fifth tackle now, 45 metres away from the Warriors line. They go to Mitchell Moses, and Moses dinks over the top here for himself. He dinks it over the top for himself, and he's still going here. Where's the ball? Oh my gosh, it's going to be a try, Eels. Oh, they're going to check this. They're going to go to the bunker. If this is a try, Eels, oh my goodness. If this is a try, Eels, oh my goodness. That was Rob Trent has died so bad. Well, Lagan, it's because they're going well right now. If they weren't going well, I'm telling you, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't have died so bad. But Moses kicks it through. Nice chip over the top. And they called no try, by the way, so they're in the bunker. But I don't know where they'd be calling a no try here. Chance doesn't touch it at all there. And Moses doesn't touch us there. And then what's going to happen here with the hand? He thinks about going for it, but I don't think he's going to actually touch it here. Mitchell Moses trying to get to the ball, and then he gets his hands out of the way, and kind of a kick into it and misses it. Oh no, Joash Papali is going to be offside. No, Joash is going to be offside here. No, Isaiah Yongi, sorry. Isaiah Yongi's going to be offside here. He's in front of Riley Smith. Yeah. We're probably not even going to get to this knock-on potentially at the try, but, well, no, there's no keep playing on here. Yongi is in front of the kicker. Just checking the onside, are you, bunker? You reckon? You reckon you might be checking the 4 metre offside here from Isaiah Yongi and Riley Smith? You checking it? You checking it? Wow. At this point, oh, he's in front. Thank you, bunker. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, I didn't see that. Didn't see that 5 minutes ago. But it is going to be offside here, so it's going to be a penalty to the Parramatta Eels. No try. Sean James says, Largan, you were thinking of the Bull Milk and Championships and Queensland always win. Queensland do always win that too. Very big Bull Milkers. Massive, actually. So no try here for the Eels, and it will be a penalty to the Warriors at about the 10 or so. Mitchell Moses, what are you complaining about? Moses, what are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? Alpha said that's a tick off my punt. Let's go. Well, it was a no try. So Tanner Boyd will kick this across to the 30 or so. It's a good 35. Good kick. Good kick. Michael says Cleary was injured. They lost because Moses did not play. Yes. The old excuse book is out. The old excuse book is out, is it, Mr. Michael? Oh, boy. The old excuse book. Second tackle now for the Warriors, and they're at the 50. They go right inside to Aaron Clark, and Aaron Clark will be 43 metres out third tackle. And said, well, let's just give the try, you cats. Why? Why did you want the try just to be given? You're not even a Warriors fan, Seb. Unless you're a big fan of their previous English talent. Fourth tackle here, like Sam Tompkins, massive Warriors player in history. Tanner Boyd off to Jeremiah Tuava, and he'll be 25 metres away from the line. Fifth tackle, 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go. Fifth tackle, Tanner Boyd, kick into the corner. Decent enough kick into a good area. Eels will knock it on. So this is going to be... they're going to say nothing happened there. Pretty certain. Yeah, Lomax knocked that on. Commentary's talking about it too. First tackle for the Eels now at the 28. How have they not... Lomax... Bro. That's all off of Zach Lomax. How have they not called that knock-on against Zach Lomax? And they said it was a knock-on from the Warriors. That's a crazy call from the referees. That's a crazy call. The Eels have just been given a massive leg up from that. Anyway, third tackle now for the Eels, and they'll be at the 40. Riley Smith. They shouldn't be here. It should have been Warriors ball at the 10. Fourth tackle for the Eels at the 45. Laurie says, calls like that knock-on will bring back the Wars been robbed. Yeah, well, that knock-on was... You're talking about the previous one. That one was even bigger from Zach Lomax. That was even bigger. James says, Denise Betts, best pom the Warriors have had. No, Sam Tompkins. What a player. What a player. And that will be an Eels knock-on. So Warriors should be 0 tackle here at the 10. Seb Watson says, Blaze need an eye test seeing all these things the refs aren't. It's crazy. Oh, that's funny because Lomax's entire left hand and right hand basically fondled the ball for a good 10 minutes with a cigarette in hand, and they didn't call it as a knock-on, but sure. Second tackle here for the Warriors at the 30. T says, who scored the first try? It was Josh Adokar. 100 metres he scored it. Literally, 100-metre try. And now third tackle for the Warriors, and they'll be at the 35. Wade Egan off to Murata Niokore, and Niokore is going to be at the 48. Fourth tackle. They get off to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd steps around a couple, and he'll be 38 metres out. Good ball fondler, Seb Watson. Massive ball fondler. So Wade Egan now kicks this one up into the corner. Good kick, but the Eels will get it through Isaiah Yongi at the 15. Chad Townsend, all-time Warriors. Yeah, but he's not English, Largan, so you've kind of missed the purpose of the conversation. So he's not English, Chad Townsend, unless I'm saying it different. Third tackle here for the Eels at the 30. Teases the Fox is back. Yeah, no, it was a great try. Again, it was completely off of a Warriors attack. The Eels have not scored off of their own attack for either of their tries. 7 minutes left first half. Nixon says, go to Eels. Remixer says, bring in the Warriors reserve grade next week like the Panthers. Well, if they lose this game, sure. But I think the Warriors need to push a bit of momentum, man. I don't think they can really risk resting players too heavily at the moment. They need to win this game if they're going to make top 4, though. If they lose this, they're gonski. They're gonski. Absolutely gonski. Across to Charles Neil Klokstad, second tackle now at the 25. Laurie says, Bunker listening to what the Fox say. Probably, actually. That wouldn't be surprising. And Talon Watani Selesniak will get it out to the 35. I reckon they listen to that every week. The run meters right now is pretty much exactly the same. 573 for the Warriors, 560 for the Eels. 6 again here for the Warriors. Oh, and they've knocked it on. Oh, my gosh. They just received a 6 again, and Wade Egan knocks the ball on at the 40. Oh, boy. They get 6 again, and then knock the ball on from the play the ball. Maybe, was he trying to play for a penalty there? But that's not going to be a penalty, man. The Fox has rejuvenated his career at Para. Good for him. Well, even at the Dogs, he was good. Like, he was good. It wasn't Storm days good, but it was good. He will never get to his Storm days good again. But no, he's doing good here. He's doing some solid things for Parramatta Eels. He's now scored 5 tries out of his last 6 games. Too much ball fondling, Brent. First tackle now for the Eels. It will turn into a 6 again. So it's going to be first tackle again for the Eels at the 30. And this, for mine, is the first real attack of the game for the Parramatta Eels. Like, on purity of just attack, this is their first attack. Right-hand side, now they'll be taken down to the 25. No, they get the offload away to Isaiah Yongi. Yongi will be 15 metres out, second tackle. 5 minutes to go, first half. Someone guys, this is a joke. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good from the Wires. And now they're 10 metres away here, Parramatta. Third tackle. Let's see this Warriors defence, which is ultimately what's got them to the top 4 this season. Riley Smith into the line. Eels knock it on. And the Warriors bring it out through Kurt Catewell. He goes out to the left. Should have passed that. Might have been an opportunity out wide. But 0 tackle for the Warriors at the 12. And they come up trumps this time. But Chad Down's an all-time Warrior. It's crazy. Williamson Egger says, go Para. Yeah, they're doing it right now, William. By the way, I'm considering coming to PNG. I'm considering coming to Papua New Guinea starting next season. We'll see how I'm travelling, but I am considering coming and visiting Papua New Guinea for a little bit and seeing how life is over there. And Dale Watani Selesniak, he'll get this ball here to the 45 on 4th tackle, 4 minutes to go. Sean James says, Brent, don't tell Lagan ball fondler. Lagan, massive ball fondler. So 35 metres out. And Wade Egan off to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd puts this one up in the air. Where's the chase? The chase is all right. There's plenty of Eels players in the way. What is that? How is that not an escort? How on earth is that not an illegal play from the Eels? They had 4 players quite literally just block off the Warriors players from having a clean shot at that. 4 players have literally just stopped right there. None of them are going for the ball. How on earth is that not a penalty? I actually don't even understand. It's literally a wall. Since when is that allowed to happen? And now Adokar, 35 metres out from his own line, 4 tackle. And at the 45, fit tackle. Kina King says, refs playing with the Eels. Here it comes, guys. Here it comes. I will say, though, there's been a couple of... Oh, knock on from the Eels at the 50s. The Warriors will get the ball. It was unlucky because the Eels actually kicked it into the back of a Warriors player. I don't think it would have been played at. And the Eels knock it on from the return. So now Warriors will get decent field position. I will say there's been some couple of controversial calls in the sense that there's probably been 2 knock-ons. Well, there's definitely been 1 at the very least. But there's been, for my opinion, 2 knock-ons that have been missed from the Eels. And then there should have been a Warriors penalty, in my opinion, for what we just saw there. But overall, the Warriors still haven't been good enough so far. But let's see if they can score and bring it back within 6. Bring it back potentially within 2, actually, if they can score a try now. So, Dimitri Malga, he'll be 35 metres out, second tackle. It's a great blocking scheme. Yeah, massive, said Watson. We've gone from American football forward pass. Oh, Warriors knock on. Oh, dude. Error rate is romper stomper. Error rate is romper stomper. Even at they look like cheerleaders escorts. So they're all just standing in front of him, but another knock on here from the Wires. Gerard says, sorry, Blaze, just came back home properly after having some palmy. Good for you, saying P-A-R-M-I. Good stuff. Otherwise, he would have got timed out if you said the other illegal name for it. This been a great game so far, but a few sloppy errors. I don't know if I'd say it's been a great game. There's been a lot of errors. I don't know if I would say it's been a fantastic game right now, but it's close still. It's definitely close. So the Eels will probably get the last significant opportunity here of this half. First tackle for Parramatta. Now, Jack Williams, he'll be 45 metres away, second tackle. Nate says, was knock on, that's definite match fixing for sure. And Riley Smith gets it inside the attack and half, third tackle. Maybe the Warriors will have a full set, but they'll have to come off their own line for it with only less than a minute to go. Yeah, Grass McGrath's playing a big impact. Infinite Kiwi, he's been generational this year. Just generational. Knights games, Cowboys games. Titans games, surprisingly not so much. But Eels will be 25 metres out, fit tackle, minute 10 to go. But this game, he's definitely getting a good touch of the ball. Norman says, if Eels win at halftime 1-4 or 5-8, then Warriors will win with 1-12 full time. Well, there's a lot of numbers there. And it will be Warriors with the ball at the 10. With 54 seconds left here. Can they go the length of the field and get a try here? Just to bring it back within. And Warriors bring it to the 15. Lagan says, speaking of NFL, how the Dolphins have been flying. Hi, Lagging. NFL season hasn't started yet. The preseason is the preseason. So second tackle. I don't know if a team who has won the preseason in the NRL has ever made the top 8. So preseason is the preseason, man. Third tackle for the Warriors. It's not something to chirp about, that's for sure. I don't know if the Detroit Lions won a game in the preseason, but everyone very well knows they'll be very good in the NFC North. Fourth tackle here at the 35. Wade Egan off to Harris Savita. Harris Savita gives it out to Adam Pompey. They are finding space on this left-hand side for the most part. Fifth tackle here for the Warriors. And they beat the 50. Alpha Cupper says, I paid the ref to rig this game. Thank you. Tanner Boyd goes short side. Harris Avila, they got space here. They got space, and then that's just going to be taken down. Would have liked to see him pass that ball, but sure. So that'll be the halftime score. Well, very disappointing first half from the Warriors. Very, very disappointing first half. 12-4 will be the score to Parramatta. Try scorers so far have been Josh Adokar, Jack Williams, and Adam Pompey. Let's go through some of these team stats, which I don't think are going to look too pretty here for the Warriors. And to start off, it's really not. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. We'll still have the Storm vs. Roosters right after this. But let's get into these stats, which are going to be a bit of a yikes. So possession-wise, 54% to the Warriors, 46% to the Eels. So significantly more possession than the Eels, but yet they are still down by 8. Time possession is 15 minutes and 54 seconds for the Warriors, 13 minutes and 39 seconds there for the Eels. So that's 28. That's over 29 minutes worth of time in play, which is a good stat there. That's really good to see. Completion rate is 82% here for the Warriors. Now you want to be seeing at least 80%. Both teams are there. 82% for the Warriors, 80% for the Eels. Was at 19 from 23, whilst the Eels at 16 from 20. So it is actually surprising. I would have actually expected the completion rate to be less, considering we've seen a few knock-ons here, but ultimately that isn't to be. They're both at least hitting the basic marker of the 80%. Now, runs-wise, 96 for the Warriors for 919 run meters, so that is about 41 meters behind the 10 meters on average per run. It's actually pretty good. It's not too far behind. They are getting plenty of run meters here. There is no problem with that. But the issue is the Eels are too. They're at 83 runs, 13 runs behind at 839 run meters. So they are averaging pretty much exactly 10 meters on average per run. So it is fair to say if we give the 13 more runs to the Eels to equal it out, 10 meters on average per run to make it 96, then that's 130 meters. The Eels then go from 839 to 939 to 969. So they would be about 50 meters, 50 meters above the Warriors run meters there if you try to equate that. And now it's actually 97 runs there. So if you give them that extra, it's going to be up around that 50 marker. So both teams are doing quite well here with the ball in the run meter department, but the Eels are doing better with it on an individual basis because they are hitting the 10 meters on average per run across it. That will also be added in with the 100 meters of Josh Adokar, but the point is that still happens. So the Eels are doing just the same thing with the ball the Warriors are. Now it's 98 runs for 939, so it's just kind of bumping up there. So very even in regards to the run meters, but if you equate it, the Eels on a fair metric, this one, they would be above. Post-contact meters, though, is absolutely significantly whooping the Eels. The Warriors are well in advance to post-contact with 367. That is a huge amount of post-contact. That is a ridiculous number. 367 post-contact meters is massive from 98 runs, whilst the post-contact meters for the Eels are 244. Even if you equate that, the Eels are getting romper stomped in the post-contact. They're getting annihilated post-contact. So whilst the run meters are relatively even, if not leaning towards the Eels. The post contact is just gigantic in favour of the Warriors. Then you got the line breaks of 2-1 Warriors way. Tackle breaks is 20 for the Warriors, 7 for the Eels. So that means that there's only 7 missed tackles from the Warriors in that first half, which is like 8 under the average of the lowest form of the average. That is incredible. That's really good defense overall from the Warriors, and not so great there for the Eels. Now, average set distance, and this is what I'm saying, you try to equate it and you'll understand this. Average set distance, 25 and under, you turn the stream off. 25 to 30, it's pathetic, disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic, and 50 plus is brilliant. Perfect, basically. Both teams are hitting 40. The Warriors are at 40.87, so on the lower end there of the great category. They're doing a fantastic job in regards to getting an average set. Well, not fantastic, they're doing a great job at getting some good meters on their sets. Basically, 41 meters. But the Eels, they're at 45 on the dot. 45 meters on average per set is fantastic. That is in the fantastic category. It is literally on the brink of dropping into the great, but it's an unbelievable amount of meters every single set. And that's why you equate it and you see that they are just absolutely pumping along. And now the Warriors have been updated to 41.74. So they're only off by about now it's 42.08. So they're only off by 3 meters here from the Eels. They're both getting a fantastic amount of meters on their average set distance, but the Eels are still advantaged there by 3 meters. Average play the ball speed is 3.38 seconds for the Warriors, 3.51 seconds for the Eels, 3.39 and below is fast, 3.4 to 3.59 is average, and then 3.6 and above is slow, 3.8 and above is extremely slow. So the Warriors are just inside the fast category there with 3.38 seconds, whilst the Eels are on the just straight up average category at 3.51 seconds. Average, when you say the word average, sometimes it can be taken in like a bad context. This isn't utilizing good or bad context. This is just an average across the teams, the competition, that you usually see an average between 3.4 to 3.59, and then the 3.39 and below is fast. So don't take average as a bad connotation. It is just utilizing it as a general average. Then you go to the offloads of 3-2 Eels way. We move down to the kit defusal of 50% for the Warriors, 40% for the Eels. And then effective tackle percentage. Now, both teams are above 90% here, which is fantastic. 85% and below is disgusting. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker. And then 90% and above is brilliant. Perfect. The Warriors are at 94.5%, which is incredible. That is an incredible effective tackle percentage. They are not missing many tackles at all. They've had to make 189 tackles. So 189 tackles made for just 7 missed tackles and 4 ineffective tackles. Now, the average of missed tackles in a half will be 15 to 17. So they are 8 below the lowest of the averages. That is incredible from the Warriors. They are not missing many tackles whatsoever. And this is why I keep saying the Eels scored their 2 tries effectively off of the Warriors' attack. It wasn't because the Eels were pumping the line. It wasn't because the Eels were attacking the line. It was because the Warriors, with their first kick, Adokar ran for 100 metres, and the second try came off the back of a kick to the left-hand side, which was bubbled around. The Eels ran for about 60, 70 metres, and the Warriors are already on the back foot there, and I still will claim that as a Warriors attack for that second Eels try. So the Eels actually haven't really broken through this Warriors line today. It's just that, again, they have broken from a good 100 metres and then 60-odd metres, which put them into the advantage and then scored. So that's a fantastic defensive effective tackle percentage there from the Warriors, which is what's got them into the top 4 this year. Again, you go and have a look at the ladder. They've scored 469 points across the season, which is worse than the Raiders, the Storm, the Bulldogs, the Broncos, the Sharks, the Panthers, the Roosters, the Dolphins, Manly, the Cowboys. It's very close to the Dragons. It's very close to the Titans, who are in 17th position. So the Warriors are not a great attacking team. But defensively, they've given up 443 points this season, which is just worse than the Raiders. It's worse than the Storm. It's worse than the Bulldogs. It is better than everyone else. So they're the 4th best defense in the comp this year. They're the 4th best defense in the comp. Then again, the Panthers have played one game, and actually the Warriors are 5th best because they've already given up more points than what they need to for the Panthers to go back above them. So they are the 5th best defense in the comp. So again, the Warriors are not doing anything different in this game. Their attack is still faltering, but their defense is really firing. That's just how the Warriors play. Now, in regards to the Parramatta Eels and an effective tackle percentage, they've just dropped below the 90%. They were there, but now they're down. 89.82%, which is out of the fantastic category, but it's still an extremely solid. 89.82% is only 0.18% away from getting into the fantastic category. 203 tackles made for 20 missed tackles and 3 ineffective. So the average ineffective tackles, which I forgot to mention for the Warriors, is 6 to 7. and they were 2 under the lowest of the averages there at 4. Well, the Eels are at 3, so that's even better. They are 3 under the average, sorry. So that's really good in regards to ineffective, but missed tackles, they are missing 3 more than the higher of the averages at 17. So 20 missed tackles is really poor, but the 3 ineffective is really good, which is why it brings it still into the very solid category. And then the Warriors obviously about 4.5% above, or nearly 5% above where the Eels are, because they're lacking in the missed tackles as well as the ineffective. So both teams defending quite well here, but the Warriors are very solid. And then you go to the negative play. This is where it's really hurting both teams. 6 errors for the Warriors, 5 errors for the Eels. Anything 4 and below is fantastic. 5, 6 is average, and 7 and above is really bad. So the Warriors are just on the precipice of the higher of the averages. They're on 6, and the Eels are on the lower of the averages at 5. So they're both doing it at a pretty normal rate, but it is killing them both. Now, penalties conceded is 4-1 to the Eels. That's not great from the Eels, but it's very good for the Warriors. Ruck infringements is 3-1 to the Eels. Again, not fantastic against the Eels, but very good for the Warriors. And then inside 10 metres is 1-0 Warriors, which isn't really too bad for both those teams. So overall, it is... Overall, when you look at all these stats, the errors are hurting both these teams. The Eels have been more ill-disciplined. The defense is good for both these sides, but the Warriors are really hounding down on it. Offloads is pretty normal for both teams. Play the ball speed isn't too dramatically different, despite the Warriors just being the fast compared to the average play the ball speed for the Eels. The tackle breaks is massively in advantage of the Warriors there. Post-contact is significantly in advantage of the Warriors, like a big, big margin. And the run meters, it would be extremely close, if not Eels' favour, if you equate it on 104 each, when it's 104-90 right now. And completion rates are both good. The Eels are actually up to 89% now with 17 from 19. And the possession's been in favour of the Warriors. So, look, based on those stats, I think it's really difficult to read how this second half will go, because it is quite even in a lot of areas here, and the Eels are playing up. The Warriors are kind of playing down to their opposition, but they are playing how they've played throughout the season. Very good defense, but attack just isn't there. It just isn't there, and that's where my biggest concern was for them going into 2025. So it's proven me right in regards to how I saw the Warriors. I didn't know their defense would be as good as it is this year, which is what's got them into this top 4 position, because if they didn't have a solid defense, if their defense was more so around the middle of the pack in the 9-10 range, this Warriors team could have easily finished in 12th, 13th position. They could have easily finished in 14th position, but their defense has been so solid, which is what's put them into the top 4. But they need to find that attack man, because right now there is no way that anyone with chess is going to say the Warriors are going to win this competition. Even if you were the most devout Warriors fan on the planet, it's going to be incredibly difficult for you not have that little side, a little talking point within yourself as well, that this Warriors team just might not have this ability to go and win the premiership with no attack. They need to find something, and they play Manly next week, and Manly might be playing for a top 8 spot, so they don't have an easy matchup next week. This was the easier matchup. Even though the Eels have had some decent form, the Warriors have no excuses here, so we need to see a lot more from them. I'll still back in my tip of the Warriors in the second half, but geez, they've got to do a lot better. They have to do a lot better. B. Lloyd says, I need Warriors to lose this game, so if the Storm rest players next week, Broncos can get top 4 if they win. Why don't you just say the Broncos are going to win next week anyway? Let us talk about the Storm needing to rest players. Let us say the Storm are going to win that game. At the end of the day, as a Broncos fan, who cares what the Storm do? You should believe your team's going to win regardless if you're going to be any fight in the finals. Alpha Kappa says, so this is going to be a close game. It is a close game right now. It is. James Stevens says, keep up the great work, bro. Appreciate you, James. Everyone says, this game has been something. It's been something, Ibrahim. Yeah, no, it's been something. Mai says you're dreaming. What am I dreaming about? What have I said wrong? What have I said wrong, Mr. Mai? I'm not going to read the rest of your name out, but what have I said wrong? I'm dreaming, apparently. Duraz says, technically the Wires could have been 4-0 up, as you mentioned. The Eels have had some bad luck with have had some luck with runaway tries, but even in the attack, they've made a ton of errors. Correct. Yeah, the Warriors could have, should have, would have, didn't. They could have scored, but they didn't. And the Eels are up 12-4, and it is deserved based on the first half. The Warriors have definitely had the better of the ball, but again, their attack is faltering, as we've seen. Maya says Warriors come back in the second half. Sure, if that's what you're saying I was dreaming about, well, I did say that, but I'm not confident with just to say the Warriors are going to win this game. But based on the stats, I definitely still see the Warriors surely coming back to win this game. Braden says, why does it go to ads on YouTube? Because YouTube has ads, my friend. I don't click anything, but they just come through. Casey says because it's YouTube and you don't have YouTube Plus. Yeah, if you have YouTube Premium, you don't get any ads. But I think it's like, how much is it? I don't even know how much YouTube Premium is. Like $5 or something? $10 or something? Sean James says, half-time with post-contact meters, the Warriors should win this game in the second half. I would agree. Ibrahim says, because you haven't donated $200 is a known fact. Yeah, look, if you do donate $200, that's what'll get you through. Hashtag no promises. Duraz says, sir, are you into cricket? Yes, we'll be streaming every game of the Ashes. We streamed every game of the Ashes when they were in Australia last, and it was a fiery time on the channel, man. We had a lot of English, a lot of banter. Martin Whitehouse, very famous on this channel. He was popping the champagne in Adelaide. He was popping the champagne for a draw. It was a guaranteed draw. He was in the chat. He was popping the champagne, saying, "We got this. You Aussies suck. We did what we needed to do." And then as soon as that pop of the champagne came, they ended up losing the game. We slaughtered that man. We absolutely slaughtered him. And yes, Jay, you'd be right. Joshua says, up to Para. Richard says, more tries, Fwerkin. Well, we need hopefully the second half can bring a few more tries. B. Lloyd says, who are your two teams to play in the grand final? I'm going to take the Storm and the Raiders, and I'm going to be very basic bitch material. I'm going to be very basic bitch material, but I am basic bitch material because they are in first and second, and they do look like the two best teams right now. Dylan says up the Eels and Broncos top four. Yeah, well, I know why you're saying up the Eels. Well, the Eels are back out in the field here. Second half is about to come. And don't forget, guys, we'll be live for the Storm versus the Roosters, son. That's a nice little uppercut of a game. That is a nice little uppercut of a game. Jaden says if the Eels win, was a fraud alert. Mate, they are absolutely. I said this before the game. They lose this game, they're on fraud alert. I said this game will tell us. And I controversially took them off last week because the Warriors fans were like, well, you know, we deserve to come off fraud alert. And I was like, I don't think so. But I came with the pressure. I've got to stick by myself, man. I've got to slap you sometimes and say, get it out of it. Get it out of it. If they win this game, then you know, we've got to keep them off it. But, you know, there's major fraud alert signs here. Major fraud alert signs. Anton says, Warriors will win, being the better side since Para fast start. Sure, but the statistics kind of lean equally across both these teams. I don't think that the Warriors statistically have been a significant advantage on the stats. But yeah, look, I would say on the eye test, the Warriors have been the better team, but they still can't score. They're the same team that we've seen for months and months, all season long. They cannot score, but they can defend. That is just how the Warriors play. That's why they're in the top four. Arn says, let's go Warriors. We'll definitely come back in the second half. Richard says Broncos won't make the grand final. Be lucky to make the prelim. They'll be lucky to make the second week. Michael Hunt says Delamatini Lesniak post-contact meter's been good. We'll have a quick look before this second half starts. Quick little look-ski here. Delamatini Lesniak post-contact. Yeah, he has been good, though. I've been watching with his post-contact. Let's have a look here. Yeah, 43 post-contact is very good for a winger. Very good. He's already at 113 run meters as well. The post-contact meters so far, the best has come from Roger Tuivasa. No, from Chance Newell-Klokstad, but that's not surprising at all. That's not surprising. He's a very solid fullback. But the second half starts, the Eels are underway, and they bring it out here at the 15. Thumbs up, subscribe, slap it in. Duraz says, what exactly do you mean by alt chain, mate? Oh, Duraz is on an alt, is he? Oh, no. Laurie says, come on, everyone, press the like button. Easier than Bonnie Blue with a skydiver's face. Didn't need that viewpoint today. Did not need a Bonnie Blue comment today, but we are here regardless. Third tackle here at the 30. Alvin says, I just got YouTube Premium. Yeah, no ads. It's weird. Well, that's the whole point of Premium. It takes away the ads. It's not too much. It's great. And then the content creator still gets paid, and you don't have to watch with ads. It's a fantastic win-win. Obviously, it costs a little bit, but, you know, sometimes it's better than your video's been interrupted. B. Lloyd says, I'm going Raiders Storm also. Well, that is the likely one because it is first and second right now. The Warriors will get the ball here at the 10, and it's Roger Tuivasa-Sheck who will bring it out here to the 25. Great post-contact meters from the 20 from Roger. I think, again, I've said this many times, like my best grand final to watch would be Warriors-Bulldogs on the basis that it would bring in the largest TV audience worldwide, and it would be, I believe, a fantastic game, much better than the other week when it was in the rain. But that's just not going to happen, in my opinion. I don't think that both those teams knock out the Panthers, the Storm. Well, the Panthers maybe not so much, but the Storm and the Raiders and whatnot in the process. And that's going to be a penalty here to the. Is it a penalty or is it a knock on here? What is he called? Oh no, it's a mistake from Wade Egan. Oh no, it's a mistake from Wade Egan, lads. He's made another mistake. Wade Egan with a forward pass. from dummy half, and the Eels will get the ball at the 45. Well, they need to start off with a bang, and that is not the bang they were needing to start off with. Dane says, only team that should be on fraud alert is the sunny, shinny Gold Coast Titans. Unfortunately not, Jaden. As you can see, they're top of the table right now, their first position. It'd be really silly to put the Gold Coast Titans onto fraud alert. You know, they are clearly undefeated at the top of the table, mate. So, no, that'd be very silly. And we're a very serious channel here, Jaden. We're a very, very serious channel. So you got to start clicking on. You got to start using the old noggin. Wake up. You know, you got to start waking up. It'd be very silly to put the first place team in fraud alert. So second tackle here for the Eels, and they'll be at 45. Up the Bronx says, yo, up the Bronx. Good if the Wash lose. Yeah, it would be good for you if the Wires lose, because it means that if you beat the Cowboys, you'd be in the top 4. But then next week you play the Storm, and then you're going to need to win that game still, because the Sharks will be right on your tail after probably beating the Knights, and then Bulldogs probably rest their players. So you just better hope the Storm rest their players next week. Plug Studio says, who do you think wins? Well, I'd like to say the Warriors, but they're not really giving me a great deal of confidence right now. Now, the Eels on fifth tackle will be 24 metres out. And there's a mistake from the Eels. It's a lost ball, and the Warriors will get the ball at the 25. They might challenge this. They are going to challenge this here, the Eels. They are going to challenge it. Arn says Warriors to come back and win 20-18. Oh, well, we need to see them do better than what they're doing right now. So they are challenging this. Emma Vatson says, I always lose on bets. When not betting, they put a lot of points. When betting, not much goals. Needed 45 points. 1 second here. Leckout Sam has tripped that ball. Yep, it's penalty of the Eels. It is a penalty Eels successful challenge coming up for Parramatta. The thing is, Emma, is that I find it interesting that you've gone on points in this game, because the Warriors are a top 4/top 5 defensive team at the competition this year, and are not in the top 8 for attack. So it's like the Warriors aren't necessarily known for having high scoring point games. Yeah, sure, they did last week, and sometimes they can. But overall, statistically, for and against wise, you wouldn't really look at the Warriors being a high team in regards to a high-scoring game. And the Eels, whilst they can, they've only scored 410 points this year, which is 44 points less than the Titans, mind you, in 17th. But they are the third worst attacking team in the competition, the Eels. I know they've been better in recent weeks. And their defense is 546, so it's bad, but it's also very similar to teams like the Dolphins, teams above them as well. It's well out of the top 8, but they're only 40 points worse off than the Roosters defensively. So it didn't really look like it was shaping up to be that high scoring game. Don't know why the Eels are taking the 2 here, up by 8, but you know, you do your thing. The Eels are taking the 2. So Zach Lomax from 20 metres out, really odd decision here. So they're up by 8, and now they are up by 10 points. Okay, you know, there we go. There we go. The Eels will take the 2. Dragons fans, Nate J, you better be cheering, mate. Shirts off. Shirts off in the gong right now. Junior says, love coming here when I forget to pay my KO. Someone let me use theirs till Tuesday. You're very lucky that Daz isn't here, because he'd drop a link to the McDonald's application system. Up the Bronx says, but Melbourne are known for resting their players. Sure, but they're not known for resting their players when they're playing for a minor premiership. So if they beat the Roosters tonight, no matter what, they'll be playing for a minor premiership next week. And especially if the Raiders were to... Oh, Eels lose the ball! Eels lost the ball! Eels lost the ball! How is that not a knock-on? Am I crazy? Might be crazy. I definitely am crazy. I don't think I'm crazy in regards to that, though. Lomax... maybe it might not have knocked on. It was very close. He bubbled it, but maybe they didn't. It was close. Anyway, whatever. We've seen about 400 knock-ons not get called. So fourth tackle now for the Eels at the 40, and it'll be Mitchell Moses. He'll give it to Charlie Guyman. He'll be at the 45. Jade said, as a Sharks fan, all I want is for the Sharks to make the top 6 at least and win one finals game. Winning one finals game would be really impressive for the Sharks, to be fair. Not a huge finals team, and Lomax and Roger go up for it, but Roger comes out best, and he'll be taken down to the 22. Was getting hard done by the referee today. In some calls, yeah, they still need to do better as a team, but in some calls, definitely, there's been a few knock-ons I would debate. Jay says, my neighbours are having a domestic. It's better than this game. Oh, the good old neighbours having a domestic. Mate, when you're in Vietnam, everyone's having a domestic all the time with the way they talk sometimes. It really does sound like everyone's arguing when they're not necessarily arguing. They're just talking. But it's always interesting when you're sitting at a cafe and just having a nice little beautiful coconut coffee and people are just screaming at each other, but they're not actually, because I'm with someone and she's telling me like, oh no, it's they're not arguing, they're just talking. And it's like, well, it looks like they're about to punch on, but all right. So the Eels will get this ball at the 15. Now first tackle, 20 metres out. Junior said, I should have stayed at the pub, didn't know I wouldn't be able to watch it at home, Kev. Second tackle now at the 25. Well, what's the lesson you've learned here, Mr. Junior? What is the lesson you've learned here? The lesson is pay your KO. That's the lesson, mate. That is the lesson. But we welcome you to the stream regardless, sir. Third tackle, and now it'll be Jermaine Hopgood who gets the ball to the 40 on fourth tackle. Nikhil says, wow, this is a disgrace. It's not great from the Waz, man. It really isn't great at the moment, but they're still well in the game. It's only 10 points the difference. It's a really odd decision the Eels decide to go for the 2 there. And now Mitchell Moses will whack it to the 15. His kicking game has been good as per usual. And Charles Neal-Klukstad runs it out to the right. And he will be taken down back to the 10. She loved the C-bomb. Ooh, yikes. Jeez, you know it's serious when. And now Daniel Latini to Lesniak. His post-contact, as we were speaking about before, very good. He gets the ball to the 22. About 6 metres in the post-contact there. Tanner Boyd off to Adam Pompey. And Pompey nearly gets away from a tackle. He'll be taken out to 30 on third tackle. Young cut below the language. Deary me, Jay. He's given us a rundown. Keep us updated when the police sirens start coming. Laurie says probably won this game if Desi coached us. What? Where did Des Hasler come into this? How is Des Hasler come into this? And now Tanner Boyd will kick this ball in the corner. And also, don't give up hope on the game yet. It's still only 10 points with a whole 32 minutes to go. And Adokar at the 20. I do need to hear the fans. I know that it's very difficult for the fans to get behind their team right now. But you do need to hear the fans at the stadium. That's a huge hit from Martinez Lesniak. Oh, stop it. That is not a penalty. Oh, stop it. That is not a penalty. They've called a Parramatta penalty here for going past the horizontal. Oh, this game's soft sometimes, man. Oh, this game's soft sometimes, man. Oh, this game's soft sometimes. Oh, this game's soft sometimes, man. But okay, they've called a penalty. Duraz says, do you think they're doubting themselves by going for the 2 there? Or is that me overthinking it? No, I just think that's them getting some points so they can potentially go for the 12-point lead with the next penalty. This game, they obviously haven't been great on the attack, the Eels, and when points are on offer, maybe that's what they're thinking just to go with. Ibram says, can't believe KO shut down before Tanner did his kick. Wonder what happened. No, he decided to forfeit the kick, mate, yeah. Yeah, no, that's why I'm here to let you know. I'm watching the game live here, and yeah, no, Tanner Boyd definitely forfeited his kick. Mitchell Moses up to come to Walangi, and it'll be third tackle at the 43. Titans win this season, Axis says. It's a really good shout with them top of the table, man. Really good shout. You know, people keep saying some silly things in this chat. Like, they come in and they start saying, like, Jaden was talking about Titans fraud alert. Like, that's rich coming from a Sharks fan who's been on scam all season. Oh, my gosh, Warriors defense. Oh, oh, okay. And the Eels have scored a try. That's actually a really nice try from Parramatta. That's actually a really nice try. And Isaiah Yongi's going to score into the post. And this is about to be a 16-point game here, Warriors. Oh, boy. 18-4 with a kick to come. It's about to be 20-4. 30 minutes to go of the game here. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. They find a huge hole there for Kamatualangi. Great pass from Mitchell Moses, and he slips over, falls down, but still gets the pass away to Isaiah Yongi, and he's going to score underneath the post. So, Warriors, you're going to need an epic comeback here. You're going to need an epic comeback here. Yikes. Really nice pass from Kamatualangi, and even better pass from Mitchell Moses for the hole. Shozzy Parr says, Will Warbrick is back. I'm so happy. Yeah, I put him in the thumbnail. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Alpha Kappa says scam alert. Well, it's kind of proven my point that I shouldn't have taken him off fraud alert for a win against the Titans last week right now. Barisi says frauds. Mate, listen, I can't do it right this second because there's still time in this game, but Warriors, it's getting dangerous. It's getting real dangerous. So I've been soft ever since it's been soft. I thought you said I've been soft ever since Big Sam Burgess left. I read that out. I read that in my mind as I've been soft ever since Big Sam Burgess left, which is also valid itself. But it's been soft ever since Sam Burgess left. Yeah, ever since the NRL have obviously had to crack down to on player safety and whatnot. But yeah, I didn't believe that was a penalty. But overall, it's 20-4 here to the Eels with 29 minutes to go here of the game. Chris Martin's pathetic performance. It's not been great, mate. It's not been great. Yeah, Brucey says that as well. Junior says, are we still in fourth if we lose? My question. So for now, yes, for now. But I ask you, do you think that the Cowboys will beat the Broncos? And I ask you, do you think the Knights will beat the Sharks? If your answer to that is no to one of them, you'll be in fifth. If the answer to that is no to both of them, then you'll be in sixth. If the answer to that is yes to both of them, you'll be in fourth. But then I'll have to ask you one more further question and say, how much did you drink at the pub today? If you do say that both the Knights and the Cowboys are going to win. Jungle Footy inbound, watch the offload. Scott James says New Zealand fans leaving right now. There's still 29 minutes to go here, but it's just been really disappointing. Second tackle for Parramatta, and they'll beat the 25. Metal says, quit messing around and put talent on. Quit messing around. They're up 20-4. And the Eels bring it to the 35. I tell you what, the Eels will be very happy with their postseason stretch under Jason Riles. Yeah, look, they didn't have a fantastic season overall, but with a win here, they would, well, they got minus 136. They have to win by 24 points to go above the Tigers, and they're up by 16. Like, there's a chance they go into 11th place. That'll be a lot more respectable of a season. Rapetti says Warriors slipping. They are slipping on banana peels right now. Eels catch the ball. Oh my gosh, Warriors. Oh my gosh, it's fit tackle. They get the offload away. Comes to the back here to Riley Smith, who kicks into the corner. That will be, oh my gosh, I think Parramatta just scored. I think Riley Smith, I think the bounce is actually set up nicely here for Riley Smith. They're going to check this. Does he get this down? Oh my gosh, New Zealand. This might be a try here. This might be a try for the Eels again in the corner. He's not too confident here, but this will be close. This ball bounces up perfectly. Sean Russell there, 10 out, gives it back, and then Riley Smith just dinks it over the top here for himself into the corner. Now, how's this bounce going to go? They're all fine because he's the one chasing it through himself from his own kick. The bounce sits up beautifully there. Sits up beautifully there. Sits up beautifully. No, his elbow is going to go over the sideline, and he will put the ball over the sideline. So 7 tackles set coming for the Warriors. You're very lucky in New Zealand. Very, very lucky. Someone says, oh no, Waz getting beat must mean blow it up. Shit. Gee whiz. Arns says Knights will lose and Cowboys will lose. Yeah, Arns, that's a good shout. So that means Warriors will go to 6. Because, I hate to be a bearer of bad news here, Warriors fans, but I have been telling you about your points differential all season. If your points differential wasn't that bad, you wouldn't be that nervous right now. Second tackle here at the 45. Shots passes Thomas right now for the Waz. Oh, not so much just yet. There's still 27.5 minutes to go, and it's only 3 tries. I say only 3 tries, but you know, in today's game of rugby league, you know, you can see 3 tries pretty quickly. And that's going to be Tamati Martin, Tanner Boyd, arguably high tackle there, but he gets away from the tackle. I would argue that was high. They'll go Charles Klokstad to Leka Halasima, and then he'll get the offload away to Grass McGrath. Harris to Vida. Oh, 10 metres out here from the line, fit tackle. Let's see, Warriors. Let's see you do something. That should be 6 again. No? Oh, my goodness. Fisher Harris will be fit tackle 5 metres away. And now it's 6 again. Even the Warriors chance. Nickel Klokstad. He'll be half a metre short of the line. Second tackle. Here. Oh, that's a penalty. Well, there's a bad play the ball at the very least. Oh, no, he has dropped it. I was going to say, it's... Oh, they're going to say penalty. They are going to say penalty to the Warriors. They're going to challenge this. Mitchell Moses is absolutely infuriated right now. I think he's bloody burst it. I think he's burst his neck open. He's that angry with that call. Sean says 79 likes, 100 likes every game. Thank you. We're on our way to 100 likes, mate, with 26.5 minutes to go. But the Eels are going to challenge this because they are going to penalise. So he plays the ball there. No, he's just lost that. Yeah, no, he's just lost that. So it'll be a successful challenge for the Eels. Good challenge. Captain's challenge is successful. So knock on there from the Warriors. And it will be Eels ball to 10. Doradas Sharks fans dancing inside. Sharks and Broncos fans right now. They've got their shirts off. Shirts off in the Nulla and shirts off at South Bank. The Nulla and South Bank, you know, they're very similar. Cronulla Beach or South Bank, where would you prefer, you know? Where would you prefer? Would you rather go for a swim on the beautiful crystal clear waters of the Brisbane River? Or would you rather go, Cronulla Beach, yikes. I think I'm going to go with the yikes Cronulla Beach there, to be fair. Mounty says fraud alert for the Warriors. Absolutely. But not yet. 15 metres out from their own line for the Eels. Riley Smith to Joash Papali. Arn says shirts off, Def and South Bank. Yeah, the markets, they've had to cancel the markets for the weekend because everyone's just got their shirts off in South Bank. Third tackle for the Eels at the 23. Martin comes on here for the Warriors. Egan goes off. Nothing but socks on, Breezy says. Okay, we don't need to get that picture. We just thought about the shirt. Don't need to know about the rest of it. And Alphonse, you've been here long enough to know there's only one S in Storm, mate. There is only one individual S in the word Storm. So we'll see in 5 minutes. Mitchell Moses kicks that ball straight down the guts to Charles Nicholl-Klukstad at the 10. And he's going to run this ball real hard. You need runs like that right now, Warriors, to turn this one around. At the 25, and Harris Tavita to Roger Tuivasa. Shaq is away! He's at the 40, the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30. Is Yongi, great tackle, second tackle now at the 25. Get up quickly here, Warriors, and spread the ball very quickly. They go left. Rocco Berry to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd across here to Harris Tavita. Oh, it's not fast enough here from the Warriors, but there's still might have some space. Adam Pompey gets his ball to the 15. Offloads it to Kurt Catewell. Catewell steps in. He's 5 metres out from the line. Third tackle. Here is your chance, New Zealand, to get that momentum rolling. You're 5 metres away. 6 again here for the Warriors. Harris Tavita. He'll give it across here to Fisher Harris. Fisher Harris to Charles Nicholl-Klukstad. They might have numbers here. And it's going to be Leka Halasima. He's just going to run it straight up to the 10. And it'll be first tackle about 12 metres out. First tackle. You need to do something here, Warriors. You just need to. Fisher Harris is going to be second tackle 4 metres away from the line. And Jared says naked in Northland. Everyone, please avoid Northland for the foreseeable future. Out to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd to Charles Nicholl-Klukstad. He steps. Tries to get some post-contact, but good defense from the Eels on third tackle. This has been the biggest worry of the Warriors all season, though. It is their attack. Chance rolls it back to Delaware-Taney to Lesniak. Off to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd out the back into Marani Niokore to Marty Martin. Here's Harris Tavita. Adam Pompey. Adam Pompey flicks it out for a try for the Waz. And Roger Tuivasa-Sheck will score in the corner. 20-8 with a kick to come, and the Waz are back in the game. That was some good passing. Real good crisp passing there from the Warriors. The flick offload late on to get that ball to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was nice, and he's bleeding out the bottom of his mouth right now. But Tuivasa-Sheck will score, and you'd really hope that Tanner Boyd doesn't decide to forfeit his kick from the left-hand sideline. You'd really hope, because Tanner Boyd never misses, guys, but this is not the time to joke around. Tanner Boyd has to get this kick. Michael Hunt says, tell me the story about Tanner Boyd. Well, he doesn't miss, mate. I really hope he decides to take this kick. I really hope he does. But Roger in the corner. He started this playoff up the other end of the field, though, with the breakaway as well. Claus is up the Waz. Arn says, yes, Roger that. Chris Martin says, whoever gets the Waz in the finals will be getting a bye round. Oh, Warriors fans are copping it today. Kogamu says, I heard that he missed once. Let me just try and think about all the times he's missed. Let me just count them. No, I can't remember. No, I can't. I watch rugby league all the time. You guys know me. I'm here for every single game live. And no, I haven't seen Tanner Boyd ever miss. All right, so Tanner Boyd here from the corner. Well, the clouds here today. The clouds here in Vietnam just might get distracted. 23 minutes to go to the game. Hopefully don't get distracted. Really cloudy day here. Couple bit of rain around. Tanner Boyd here from the left-hand corner, and he doesn't miss, lads. The guy just doesn't miss. You know, don't be silly. Oh my gosh. Do you see? Trust me now. Have a little faith in me. You know, have a little faith. Tanner Boyd does not miss. 20-10. 23 minutes to go the game. Don't be silly. Never be silly. Calm down, hot dogs. No way, mate. I could go for a hot dog right now, to be fair. Says he doesn't really miss Tans, 70% kicking rate. Now he has 100% kicking rate. Sophia says the Warriors need to win this game. Yes, they do. And they are down by 10 with 23 minutes to go. And they are back within the game, only 10 points. So let's see the Warriors do it next. His favourite side, all right, nice, Tans. Yeah, exactly right. So the Warriors, they'll bring this ball out here to the 20. It's very funny because there's a couple of you guys actually I was speaking to Tan earlier on in the year, and people bring it up with him all the time about how he does not miss. He knows immediately how they've heard about it. He knows immediately. Third tackle. At the Titans games last year, there was a couple of people who made signs saying Tan doesn't miss. So fourth tackle here for the Warriors, and they'll be at the 40. Michael says Tanner is the original guy who does not miss. He's the only guy who does not miss, mate. If you're about to say Sam Walker, I've personally individually made him miss from my sideline at Seabus. So Tanner Boyd at the 45, he will kick this ball down into the corner where it should be, I think that's Zach Lomax. No, it's Isaiah Yongi with the ball at the 5. He slips over. Now he's going to bring this out of the 10. You're going to need to see some Warriors. Solid defense here. Just keep him down here. Shove him down here, son. Nate J says, Blaze might be picking rice in the rain. Don't forget your raiding hat. Well, I got my Vietnamese hat up there. Second tackle at the 20. And now they'll be at the 30 through Talon the Silver. Mitchell's happy about that. Talon is on. Tigers legend. Rebel says only miss when he's right in front of the post. No, Rebel. No. Tanner Boy does not miss. Fourth tackle here. It's a fact. Very serious channel. Fourth tackle at 35. So they've gotten quite a few meters here. Mitchell Moses loves to bark at Talon the Silver, eh? Like, he really enjoys just slapping into him. This is good passing there from the Eels, and they've got space. They've got space here down the wing. Pensini. He'll be taken to 50. Sharks fans putting their pants back on. Don't put the pants back on just yet, but, you know, it's inkling towards potentially a bit of a Warriors, maybe momentum comeback here. 20 minutes to go of the game here. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Eels are just playing for pride, lads. They're just playing for a bit of pride at the moment. Chance gets away from the tackle. He's been good today, Chance Newell-Klookstad. Nate says he must have a dozen kids if he doesn't miss. I'm not going to get involved in that conversation. So, Rocco Berry. And Pell, here the was. Here we go. Here we go. Pants at half-mast. Half-mast pants right now for Sharks and Broncos fans. But keep them down there for the time being. 20 minutes to go in a game. And the Warriors get a huge penalty at the halfway point. Philip says, with you guys, Warriors, 2 more to go. Yeah, you just need a couple more tries, and now you're going to be 30 metres out here from the line. First tackle. It's only 10 points. Tamati Martin gets it off to Harris Tavita. Good run here for the Warriors, now to the 23. 23 metres out to Tamati Martin off to Fisher Harris. Fisher Harris to Harris Tavita, Tanner Boyd, look out of Seema, 10 metres out from the line, third tackle. Here come the Waz. Here they come. Chance Newell-Klookstad off to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd, Fisher Harris, and Fisher Harris is going to be 5 metres away. Fourth tackle. Fourth tackle to Muddy Martin. Out to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd, Harris Tavita. Harris Tavita steps, and they'll be 8 metres away from the line on fifth tackle. You've still got plenty of time here, Warriors. You don't need to get crazy with it, but a try here would be absolutely gigantic. Tanner Boyd, good kick into the area. Try time for the Waz! Try time for the Waz! And you know who it is. Leka Halasima! Leka Halasima! Leka Halasima! Leka Halasima! Try time for the Waz! And they are well and truly back in this game. It is 20-14 with a kick to come. Big Lecker comes on, gets the try time from a beautiful kick from Tanner Boyd, and guess what? You know what time it is. What time is it? Just looking at my watch right now. Yeah, no, it is time for Tanner Boyd not to miss. It is time for Tanner Boyd not to miss, and that was a great kick from him, and Lecker Alasima goes up in the air, and Seb Watson says, pull your pants up. All right, Nulla. Cronulla fans and Broncos fans, you were at half-mast. Time to pull them right on back up there. Don't put the belt back on yet, though. No belt. Keep the belt off, but do pull those pants back up because the Warriors are coming. They are coming in more ways than one. Arn says, let's go. Bets are looking good up the bunnies. I mean, was. Don't know where the bunnies are coming to this, but sure. Teen says, where does it say that? Teen says, knew it Lecker going to score winning point. Well, he does score. Still going to be down by 4 points after Tanner Boyd does not miss, but well and truly back in the game now. Team with the $2 Redo donation. Get around you. Appreciate it for the donation. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much for the support. And now Tanner Boyd to kick it over. Jaden says, Tanner Boyd, Nathan Cleary swap deal incoming. Well, it's the only thing that makes sense for the Panthers, really. And Tanner Boyd, he will. Gee whiz, he won't miss. Gee whiz. He won't miss. He does not miss. It's a 4-point game. It's a 4-point damn well game, baby. 20-16, the Parramatta Eels with 18 minutes to go. Here come the Wars. Come in the chat. Who you think wins from here? Do you think the Eels find a way to win? Or do you think the Warriors come back from 16 points down just about 5 minutes ago to find a way to keep that top 4 spot? Because Broncos and Sharks fans, they've been cheering, but I don't know how loud they're cheering now. Laurie says, pull that G-string back up. That's a Brisbane thing to do if I ever did see one. Mitchell says, I'm surprised he didn't drop the ball. Mitchell, why don't you just let him have it, you know? Why don't you just let him have it? But this will be Warriors bringing it out from their own 5. And it's going to be Tanner Stowers-Smith who brings it to the 18 on first tackle. Warriors, you are still in the top 4, but if you lose this game, if the Broncos and Sharks win, you'll be in 6th. If one of those teams wins, you'll be in 5th. If you win this game, though, you'll be in the top 4 and just need to beat Manly next week to guarantee a top 4 spot. But you still need another try, converted try, to win the game. Maybe we could see an extra timer here. But then again, that's not going to happen because Tanner Boyd doesn't miss. Fisher Harris, he's going to bring this ball to the 45 on 4 tackle. Says, your blessings are coming through, Philip. Philip says, what did I say? 1 more to go, Warriors. I only need 1 more, Philip. 1 more. Fit tackle for the 45. They need it. Desperately need it. And Harris to Vida. He'll kick this one down into the corner. And Zach Lomax is going to bring this ball back from the 10 to the 15 on first tackle. 16 minutes left. Mounty says, next try wins this game. Yeah, sure. Yeah, agree. Agree. If the Eels score again and make it a 2-score game, I don't know if the Warriors come back from that, but if the Warriors do score, they probably take the lead off the next score. Rebels says, what happened to Aaron Clark? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Where is Ez? Is he not on the field, is he? He was actually really solid. He's been very good for the Warriors this year, arguably their best player, but Aaron Clark's been very good in this game too. Good offload away, and the Eels are away. The Eels at the 40, the 35, the 30. Isaiah Boboli has just broken Warriors fans' hearts. And Isaiah Yongi, oh, gee whiz, I just called him Babali too, but Isaiah Yongi has broken through and he's just run around Chance Nickel-Klukstad for a try under the post. And all that hard work from the Warriors to get back in the game is about to be a 10-point game again. Isaiah Yongi, that was a great offload from Junior Bolo, and then I don't know what defense that was from Chance Nickel-Klukstad, but he didn't even hold him up well and he just runs around him and scores. So the Eels lead 24-16 with a kick to come. Chris Martin says, this team drives me nuts, entertaining if nothing else. Hey, well, Broncos and Sharks fans, back to half-mast. Back to half-mast you go. Paintbrushes was all day. Laurie says they rest in Aaron Clark for next week. Yeah, don't know about that. Don't know about that. Breezy says, and there you go. Gee whiz. 24-16 Eels, but it's about to be 26-16 any moment now. All that good work to get themselves back in, and it's just absolutely evaporated. Mounty says, just want to say, mate, we all appreciate you going live every game for us. Get around you, Mounty. We'll be live for the Melbourne Storm versus Sydney Roosters right after this too. And then we get our weekly dose of depression. No, Titans game's on Sunday, actually. Weekly dose of depression is still on Sunday. All right, so Zach Lomax. You'd hope he makes it from right in front. You'd hope so. You'd hope he does. He does do this one. He does get it over. So, it is 26-16 to Parramatta. 15 minutes to go. Where's my nasal stuff, Sen? I got the old Thai herbal inhaler right here, son. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, Chance Nickel-Klukstad caught napping there, Keena. I just don't think he knew what he wanted to do. Talon Silver was covered and so was Mitchell Moses, so he should have just gone straight for Isaiah Yongi, but he just didn't know what he wanted to do when he got caught napping. You're right. I should have just took the damn total points. Hey, Breezy, someone was talking about the total points going under before, and it's opened up here in the second half, so they're probably going to win it now. I think they probably already did win it, whoever was saying that they got on the over. I would have said that it was unlikely pre-game, but it's ended up coming out. Go to Storm, Alphon says. KJ Sports says Roosters upset and coming. Well, hopefully it's a great game because both teams need to win. Second tackle now for the Eels at the 25. Because this game, the Eels don't need to win. They don't need to do jack. At the end of the day, they've got nothing left to play for besides pride. Third tackle at the 35, whilst the Warriors do need it. Quiet in the cheap seats, those fans with the blue and yellow gear. Fourth tackle now for the Eels, and they'll be at the 45. Up the wires, if we go out of top 4 and face Panthers in finals, we cooked. Well, it's not like the Panthers have been anything extraordinary recently, but to be fair, they still pushed the Storm and the Raiders to the brink, and last night's going to take a lot from people's opinions, but oh no, Warriors. They've let the ball bounce. And luckily, it will not be touched by the Wires. There'll be Warriors ball here at the 20 after they make the tackle. I don't know if I have the Warriors beating Panthers in the first week, if they do play them in the first week. But the Broncos play the Storm next week, and the Sharks play the Bulldogs next week. Bulldogs probably rest players. What's happening here? Who's coming off here for a HIA? Wait. Oh, it's a captain's challenge. That was well after 10 seconds. Parramatta are challenging the call here. It felt like it was way after 10 seconds. So I think they're trying to say that the Warriors player touches it here. Oh, they're saying disruptor, maybe. Oh, James Fisher-Harris is claiming a disruptor. Well, Chance doesn't even touch that. Well, there's no disruptor because Adokar is trying to get the ball here. It just goes through the hands. I don't think he touches the ball. Is this the Eels challenging? Well, Adokar's not disrupting. No one touches this ball. So this is just going to be... Nothing comes to this. Yeah, nothing conclusive. No, exactly right, said Watson. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just going to be tackled on 5th here from the Eels. What was the point of this challenge? Nixon says, go Eels. Andrews, is anytime try scorer for the Roosters versus Storm? Well, who's playing? Because there's a lot of Storm players that they've rested. I do like a bit of Munster. Like a bit of Munster magic, maybe. A bit of Munster magic might be nice. I think Ryan Pappenhausen's a good shout there for the Storm. And Mark Nwangana-Tawase is always a good shout there for the Roosters. You could go either Roosters wingers and you're probably guaranteed for something. Fisher-Harris will get this ball to the 35, especially with no Xavier Coates in the game. So Nwangana-Tawase won't have to go up against him if he was even on that side. But with that would have been such a great battle, Xavier Coates and either Tupou or Nwangana-Tawase, but that won't be happening, unfortunately. Tanner Stowers-Smith now, 4th tackle for the Warriors. I'll get this ball to the 40 on the Eel side of the field. Coates isn't playing, Keener. He has been rested this week. So Harris Tavita to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd to the 40. Gives it off here to Charles Newell-Klokstad. Newell-Klokstad, Adam Pompey. Adam Pompey runs it into the line. They're 20 metres out from the line. Fit tackle. And Chance back to Tanner Boyd. Let's see a beautiful kick here, Mr. Boyd. He puts it up. Where's the chase? Halasima's there. It's going to be knocked back here from the Warriors. And it's going to be thrown again. But it will be Josh Papali who gets the ball to 13 on first tackle. So Warriors fly top 4 by the end of the round, saying Sharks and Broncos win. Yes. Second tackle now for the Eels at the 24. Even if just one of them win, you drop out of the top 4. 13.5 minutes to save your top 4 season, Warriors. Answers Paps will have a shocker like his kicking. Mate, Pappenhausen's going to have a flyer. Pappenhausen's going to be flying against the Chooks. He needs to, with no Harry Grant, no Jerome Hughes. Will Warburg back after such a long stint on the sidelines would be a good, nice little cheeky bet. Abigail says, go to Warriors. Well, they need to do a lot to turn this around with 13.5 minutes to go. Moses decides to run the ball and then kicks it on the fly. Who's going to catch this? Great grab by Charles Newell-Klokstad in that 15. Great grab. Yeah, not many do beat Lomax in that situation, but he was. They've actually done pretty well in regards to those high kicks out to Lomax's wing. Today, the Warriors have done well with limiting him, but they just haven't done well in regards to the score right now. Chance will bring this ball out here to the 30, and it's going to be third tackle. Mounties, his biggest problem for the Warriors was losing Metcalf, correct, but also their attack wasn't flowing even with Metcalf there. They weren't in the top 4 based off their attack. They were in the top 4 based off their defense statistically. Fourth tackle now, the Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He will get this ball to the 40. Seb Watson says, who's against Kane Bradley? I want whoever is against him in the air. Kane Bradley's on the wing, I don't think. I can't... Oh, 6 again for the Warriors. Huge on 5th tackle as well. Aaron Clark is back out in the field, by the way, for whoever was wondering. And the Warriors will be at the 42 on first tackle. That's a huge 6 again call. Now Fisher-Harris. He's going to get this ball out here to the 30 on second tackle. Dasman says, I bet the Wars wish they beat the 4-time defending premiers. Yeah, they would have liked to have played a team with 17 of their starting players out. They would have loved that. Aaron Clark now will get this ball to the 18. Huge run again from Ez. He's been brilliant today when he's been on the field. They go out to the left to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd at the 15. Oh, that's knock on from the Eels. This will be a 6 again here. This will be a 6 again. Okay, Warriors, here is another one of your chances. Another one of your chances. 12 minutes and 7 seconds left. You'll be 15 metres out. We've seen a lot of tries come from scrums this season in the NRL. Let's see it. 411 watching and 97 likes. Get around, you guys. Still time here for the Warriors. Still time. Ollie Reed with the $8 donation and the profile picture of me from yesterday. Woohoo! Happy Friday. The Wars are all over the shop. Tequila shots, anyone? I think Warriors fans are going to want tequila shots in about 10 minutes' time if they can't win this game. But for the time being, I think we're fine. Adam Pompey. No, Harris Tavita will be 5 metres out from the line. First tackle. 10 minutes to go, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Comment who you think wins in the chat. Thank you very much, Olivia, for the $8 donation. And just hold those tequila shots off until there is 9 with this last 9.5 minutes, and then offer them to the Warriors fans if they can't win. To Marty Martin, 6 again here for the Warriors. Harris Tavita across to Adam Pompey. He's been threatening today. He just can't get over that line. And they're going to be 3 metres out first tackle. Kirk Catewell. Back to Harris Tavita at the 10. Then off to Aaron Clark. And Aaron Clark will push away. And he'll get this ball to the 7. Second tackle. Second tackle now to Marty Martin. He'll go to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd. Short ball into the line for Leka Halasima. Try time for the Waz. And it's about to be a 4-point game because it's right next to the post here. And guess what? You know what time it is. Look at it again. The watch. It's very clear. The watch. It says it's Tanner time, baby, because Tanner doesn't miss. It's Tanner time because Tanner Boyd does not miss. Leka Halasima will get a double in this game. He just runs the line beautifully. Tanner Boyd with the assist again, by the way. Tanner Boyd got the previous assist for Leka Halasima, and he gets this assist for Leka Halasima. So it's about to be a 4-point game. Warriors, 8.5 minutes to go. 8.5 minutes to go. Scott James, can we say golden point maybe? Potentially, but the Warriors, with a converted try, actually take the win. Because they're going to get the 2 here. Infinite, can we say no miss? He don't miss. He don't miss. Olivia says, I almost put up on my Instagram story of you today, but I refrained. Of me today? What have I done today? But it's going to be 26-22. 8 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Leka Halasima with a double. Jacob says, Klookstad better score. Or what? Jacob, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if he doesn't score? Because Leka Halasima, he might be on for a triple. He might be on for a triple dub. Trip dub, NBA terminology. Might get a hattie. Hat trick. Leka's had a solid season. Yeah, he's been fantastic up the wires. He's been brilliant. He did get moved from the starting back row into the bench, but no, he's been brilliant. Lagan says, all I'm saying is Tanner Boyd has never lost a finals game. You know, the facts are the facts, the stats are the stats, and this is a fact, and this is a stat. You know, you've really got to consider this. There's some serious business there from Logan, because it is true. He's actually never missed a kick in the finals. It's a true story. So the Eels now at the halfway point. And they will kick this one down for the Warriors coming out from their own in goal. Chance gives it off for Tanner Stowers-Smith with a really strong run there. Brings it out to the 20. You need that run. Leka playing like a Rookie of the Year. Yeah, well, who else is looking like a Rookie of the Year? Because Nwangana Tawase can't win it. So it's between Leka Halasima and... Who's the other player that would be going up there? There's another player that I can't think of in my head right now. Tanner Boyd. He goes out the back here too. Harris Tavita. Harris Tavita up to Adam Pompey. And they're already at the 50 on third tackle. They're already at the 50. They roll it back here to Harris Tavita. Then off to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck at the 40. Robert Toy is a shout. Josie pass. But I do have probably Leka Halasima better. Aaron Clark gets away from it. I understand Toy origin. I understand, but I would be leaning towards Halasima. So I do think Halasima's done more in the NRL, but obviously Tweeta's done more on a bigger level. Tanner Boyd, really high kick up in the air. Eels do grab it, luckily. Hard kick to take, but 7 minutes to go here of the game. And the Eels win the ball at the 15. Leka going to score the final try. Maybe so. And if he does, it's probably going to be close enough to the post, which is what you want to see. Tasman says, is this not Mark Nwanga Tawase rookie year? P.S. No, I didn't Google how to spell Nwanga Tawase. So no, because the NRL have made it that because he's played at a professional level before, he can't win the rookie of the year. Because then otherwise, technically, you're going to... Yeah, like, they decided that recently, I'm pretty certain. Fit tackle now for the Eels, and they'll beat the 35, but this is his NRL rookie year. New Zealand guy says, Wires need 4. That's great maths there from New Zealand guy. That is fantastic maths. Thank you very much for helping us out with the mathematical equations. And Charles Neil Crookstab will be at the 10. He'll bring it out to the 20, the 25. You've got 6 minutes to save your top 4 lives. They're at the 30 on first tackle. That's Wank. It was Union. Might be Wank Daz, but it is what they've decided. And now it'll be Roger. Gets his ball now to the 30. Arguably close to a high tackle. They don't call it. Harris Tavita, Dallin Watani to Lesniak. He gets away from 1, and now be at the 45 on third tackle. Leka or Noah. No, Nwanga Tawase, I don't believe can win it, so it must then go to Halasima unless we're forgetting somebody. Toya is a shout, though, based off of his representative level as well, though. But I just think Leka's done more with his actual NRL stuff. Tana Boy, 2. Rocco Berry nearly breaks through. He'll be at the 32. Need a big kick here. 5 minutes, 32 seconds to go here of the game. They give it to Harris Tavita, and he'll put that one up into the air. Huge high kick here. Good chase here from the Warriors. Knock on from the Eels. Warriors get the ball. Here you go, was Adam Pompey. Adam Pompey with the try on the post. Boom, 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 boom. They're going to look at the bunker. They're going to check the bunker. But Adam Pompey will score under the post, and it will be 26-26 with a kick to come, dependent on the bunker. Dependent on the bunker. Adam Pompey has just scored under the post. And they will take the lead by 2 if this is called a try. This is a very... It's all over the shop, but this is a very good kick there from Harris Tavita. I haven't complained about the Warriors kicking game today. I've actually liked it. They all go up for it. They both go up for it. I don't have a problem with that. Fisher Harris then picks it up. He offloads it. Adam Pompey and the Eels fall asleep at the wheel. And Adam Pompey will score right out of the post with 4.5 minutes to go here of the game. I think that's fine, man. I don't see there's any problem. The Warriors are clearly going up for the ball. And the Eels will knock it on there. Fisher Harris grabs it and then gives it off to Adam Pompey. 4 minutes and 18 seconds to go here. I'm pretty certain it's a try. Ball collector says, so if you play professional baseball, you can't be considered as an NRL rookie in your first year. I think it's to do with, like, I don't know how they've worded it, mate. I've just seen something, but I'm pretty certain Nwanga Tawase can't win it. Based off of him playing professional rugby, I think it's to do with the fact it's rugby league and rugby union or something like that. But please Google it to get the actual definition. Or an NRL claiming that union and league are interchangeable sports now. I think that's probably what they're achieving, because there's no way you could say a baseball player or an NHL hockey player could come across and not be Rookie of the Year. Okay, here we go. Let's see this contest in the air. Oh, does his hands actually touch that? Vaimaoga. It's a knock-on. Oh, Warriors, they're going to call this a knock-on. I'm pretty certain Vaimaoga does actually touch this ball. Oh, no. His right hand might actually touch this ball here. You can't guarantee that, though. You can't guarantee that. Where's the finger flex? I don't think so. I think they just want to keep looking at this. I don't think there's conclusive evidence to say he touches that ball. Oh, they've called it a no try. They've called it a no try. Was there conclusive evidence, though? So the bunker has called it as a no try. I don't think that's a conclusive evidence call, though. They've called this a no try. Without question, I can't agree with the bunker there. I can't agree with the bunker. So it's going to be 26-22 to the Eels with 5 minutes to go. They've said no try. The commentary's got blown up about this too. Where was the conclusive evidence that the Warrior Vaimaoga touched that ball? Like, it was called a try on field. You need conclusive, guaranteed evidence that that ball has touched his hand, and there was no way. And they're blowing up about this too. I can see you guys blowing up about this. There was no way you could guaranteed 1,000,000,000% say that Vaimaoga touched that ball, which is what you need. If it was called a no try on the field, then sure. But if it was called a try, so you need to overturn it. And there was nowhere near enough evidence to overturn that. So anyway, fifth tackle in for the Eels at 33. That's not cricket, lads. Arn says, it's always the wise for NRL. Andrew says, bunker ruining a game once again. Man, so Warriors here, you've still got a chance, but that is a real clump of a call in my opinion. And now Chance Newell-Klukstad will get this ball to the 35. Warriors fans will complain about that, and you justifiably deserve to complain about that, to be fair. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck will get this ball to the 40. Duraz says, I have Eels won at 12 for $500, but bro, that is not conclusive enough. That was a try, but I'll take the luck. Yeah. Here we get $50 to that. Third tackle at the halfway point. And to Money Martin, gives it off here to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd at the 50, then to Harris DeVita. Harris DeVita to Kurt Catewell, and Kurt Catewell will be at the 40. It'll be 4 tackle. Glenn Wood says, and that's why the Wars will never win a Prem. LC says, up the Wars. Nashon says, damn, gotta feel bad for the Warriors. Yeah, for sure, because they earned their way back into the game to win it. And this is a very crucial game. Very crucial game for them to win it. Adam Pompey, fit tackle. Oh, no. And the Eels, oh, dude, I don't know if the Wires win from here now. I don't know if they're going to get it out of their minds. I don't know they will. Because that was bad on fit tackle. Second tackle, because Tanner Boyd's been good today, but he shouldn't have passed that ball to them. Third tackle here at the Eels at the 40. If I was a Warriors fan, I'd flip out. I'd flip out over that, eh? I'd be flipping out, especially with the top 4 spot on the line. Like, that is a crucial call. 4th tackle here for the Eels, and they'll be at the halfway point. William says, never rob, just play hard next 4 minutes, anyone's game. Come on, Wires, go Parry. Now, I've got to disagree with you, William. I'll go disagree with you. I don't usually like to say the word robbed, but with 4 minutes to go of the game, down by 4 to score a try to the post, that is pretty heavy in regards to as close to a robbery as you could possibly call. They're going to stop the play here at the 40. This should be a changeover. No, but he's played the ball, ref. Like, stop the clock beforehand then. If you can see he's injured, he has got to his feet. He's got to his feet and then rolled the ball, ref. So the Eels are going to get the ball again here. Oh, this is full of controversy, this game. Alva says, Wars fans punching air right now. Yeah, justifiably so. Everyone says, Warriors lose this, Broncos fans rejoicing. Broncos and Sharks fans. Oh, dude, the referees have had an absolute mare today, dude. The referees have had an absolute mare. This is, yeah, Warriors fans are going to blow up about that call, eh? They're going to blow up. Teen says, Warriors have one more set. Watch this. Yeah, they've got one more set. They've arguably, like, where's the guarantee? They're showing in the replays again while it's an injury. God bless the man who's injured right now, but where's the guarantee conclusive evidence he touches it? Don't forget, guys, in about 8 minutes' time, we'll be live for the Storm vs. Roosters game, which is a big game for the Storm to go into first position for the time being, or the Roosters to win and stay in the top 8 for this week. But there's still 2 minutes, 46 seconds left here of the game, Warriors fans, so don't give up hope just yet. Just hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and Eels on fit tackle at the 40. Maybe it's on the secret angle that they don't show us. Yeah, they have all these apparent billion angles. The old bunker always has a million angles. Don't know why they can never show it to us. And now Moses will kick this one down to the 10. So they'll get this full set, then maybe a tackle or two, unless they can get a penalty, which they really do need. Nick Hill said it never touched him. Well, it's not that it never touched him. It's just that you can't prove that it touched him, really. It's not about the fact that it never touched him, because I couldn't conclusively say that. But I can conclusively say that there is no conclusive evidence. That's the problem. It's not about whether his guarantee touched him or didn't touch him. It's about the fact they needed guaranteed evidence to overturn the call. Tanner Boyd right inside here. Chance Newell-Klukstad gives it off to Rocco Berry. Rocco Berry will be at the 50 on 4 tackle. 2 minutes and 4 seconds to go here of the game. They give it to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd then off to Leka Halasima. And Halasima is going to be at the halfway point, fit tackle. 1 minute 54 to go here of the game. To Marty Martin, to Aaron Clark. Aaron Clark, Tanner Boyd. Oh, dead end there. And they will kick that ball up high. And the Eels, Isaiah Yongi, will grab that ball to 15. He'll slip over. Okay, Warriors. You need to try and tackle them all out by the 50, 40-second mark. And then you get maybe 40 seconds to try and go the length.
Addo Carr will be at the 25. And it says bunker place bet on the Eels for sure. Well, there's a couple of knock-on calls in the first half too that I disagreed with against that benefited the Eels, but overall third tackle now for the Eels at the 30. And it's unfortunate because I do still need to put the Wild's on fraud alert with a loss here, but contextually it's harsh. Fourth tackle now at the 35. Fourth tackle now for the Eels at the 35. Riley Smith to Junior Bolo. Okay, you're going to have about a minute here, Warriors. Fifth tackle, 58 seconds to go here in the game. Riley Smith, I just don't know if they can overturn that huge call in their heads. 51 seconds, they've got to go 90 metres. Chance Nickel Clockstad brings his ball back into the 25, now to the 30. On first tackle, it comes down to this. I agree, David Bunker's had some absolute clangers tonight. And now Harris Tavita gets it to Roger Tuivasa Shek. 36 seconds to go here in the game. Second tackle at 35. Now to Muddy Martin. He will go to Daniel Martinez-Lesniak, and he'll be at the 45 on third tackle. 28 seconds to go here in the game. You need to try to tie it up, and a converted try to win it. Aaron Clark now will beat the 48. Fourth tackle. 20 seconds to go here. James Fisher-Harris. Vomelga, then off to Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd at the back here to Charles Neil Klookstad to Rocco Berry. Rocco Berry at the 35. He flicks it up. Goes to Watansi Lesniak at the 30. And here you go. This is it. Fifth tackle. This is your top four right now, Warriors. Fifth tackle, 30 out. Tanner Boyd, he will whack it up into the air. It's going to be in range for everyone to make a play at it. And the Eels catch it, and that's game. And that is game. The Eels will win 26-22 in extremely controversial fashion. But it will be a win for Parramatta regardless, which is probably going to see the Warriors by the end of the weekend drop into 6th position, because the Broncos, if they beat the Cowboys, they go up into 4th. If the Sharks, they beat the Knights, they go up into 5th position. If the Broncos lose, the Sharks go up into 4th position. The Warriors will drop into 5th position. So extremely controversial, that one. I know Warriors fans will absolutely blow up about it, but your season, you're still going to be in the finals. It's just unfortunate that you're more than likely going to have to do it the tough way now and not get that double chance and get those G-strings out, Broncos, Albert Kappa says. But anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off because we're going to move on to the next game, which is the Melbourne Storm versus Sydney Roosters. Hope to see you guys there. That starts in 5 minutes' time. So go and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you in just a few moments' time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.